You're obsessed with horror and assorted dark imagery. Would you ever do an album singing about like puppies and rainbows? Would that ever happen?
Yeah. No, maybe I'll do a real horror record and talk about the Obama administration.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
How are you all doing tonight? We're here early. We are right away. And it is Toxic Tuesday, my man. And glad I saw Peter O'Shea's helicopter tour thing. Now it's at the good old Danzig clip. I clipped it from a particular mythos. And, well, I've been having fun with that one. So I was just like, how could I not? So hope you all doing good tonight. Nice to see you all here early right away. Nice crowd too. I love it. Love seeing the crowd early. Well, let's acknowledge some faces here. Let's see here. Putin's Cat, Nick the Greek, Davina Duckworth, Shadow Chaser, Southern Viking, Neon Knight, Phoenix Nightaway, Matthew Marzillo, Emperor's NM, Dearest, Aaron Radcliffe, Peter O'Shea's Helicopter Tours, Conan, the Barbarian by Crumb, Keely Chow, Brad Young, Kingsport Cal. What's going on, dude? I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Penny, how's it going, Penny? Hello, hello. And 11 Alpha. What's up, 11 Alpha? Shadow Chaser. Yeah. Yes, I am on the juice. Hey, Read by Nature. Yes, yeah. We got a nice full panel of dudes tonight. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. It's going to be fantastic. And yeah, this is the first of 3 Toxic Tuesdays. Talking the Punisher. I'd say undisputably the most controversial Marvel character in the history of Marvel Comics, because a certain political ideology happens to fancy his tactics. But whether it's what side you're on tonight has no relevance to the show. If you like the character for who he is, it's all that matters. We're talking about all 3 of these movies. Tonight, Dolph Lundgren. Next week, Thomas Jane. And then in 2 weeks, good old Ray Stevenson. Rest in peace. We'll do him. So, yeah. It's going to be also talk about these. We'll definitely go over throughout the weeks, who we find are the best. Maybe we'll have some standings early on and see where our minds differ or even change or stay the same after it's all said and done in another few weeks. It's going to be fun to, watch all 3 of these movies and see who was the definitive Frank Castle. So, yeah, it's fun. Let's have some fun. All right. Hey, Jonathan Conroy, too. Yeah. Let's bring in some of the dudes. We'll start with the man who has a Punisher figure and a comic as well.
Hey,
right there for
how's it going, everyone?
His viewing pleasure. So I'm assuming that's a Garth Ennis collected edition. I was reading Punisher Born recently. Remember Born? Born was brutal.
Yeah, this is not for kiddies. And as you were talking about, this is Punisher Punisher Max with here.
No, dude, it looks awesome. Yeah, explosion. That's a great figure. What line did that come from way back
That's
in the
the
day?
original Marvel Legends line. I'm guessing
Oh, okay.
4 or 5 of the original Marvel Legends. His AR-15 or M16, he would have had an M16. Fell on the floor somewhere. I have this in my basement, and I don't know. I got to find his M16 or buy another one. But the Punisher doesn't need that many. He can still kick ass with just one gun, right? But
Oh yeah. I
and of
have
course,
one, and that's from the animated series of Spider-Man, and that's the one I have. Which is funny because in the cartoon, his suit was blue, but the figure got it right, making his suit black.
Yeah, they made him kind of like
the PS1 game that was just called Spider-Man back in the year 2000. It was on PS1 and N64. They had it blue on that game, but then when they put it out a year later on PC, it was back to black.
I think they're trying to lighten the Punisher up, make him a little more acceptable. But we'll get everyone else in here. But the crazy thing is, Punisher was introduced in a Spider-Man comic. Go figure, right? So way back when, I can't remember the issue number. Was it 171 or I can't remember the first.
129 is when he
129 and 174
was because he was created by Gerry Conway, as nuts as he is. Obviously, I respect his creation, and a lot of great writers took up after him. So we'll definitely, I'm sure we'll cover a little bit about that throughout the next 3 weeks.
Especially this is the first week,
Vulcan lives says he can't say that. Just want to drop in and say hail to all the dudes and duets. Have a great show. Dude, shout out to Vulcan lives. That's dude. Hey, thank you for dropping in, man. You did not even have to do that, but I do appreciate this drink going out to you, Ted, because the rare night where I drink on Toxic Tuesday, and tonight's one of them. So cheers to Vulcan lives. All right.
And I actually do like this movie, spoiler alert. So I think it's pretty good. I mean,
we'll have to discuss that as we
we'll
go
have to
on.
discuss that. Yeah.
Idiot savant. Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's bring in another dude. All right. We have that 70s rock fan. And he boomered it.
Go Rangers, go Rangers. I keep saying go Rangers until he unmutes.
I was still muted on the stream thingy. Fuck it. Fuck. Good evening, and it's a pleasure to be back. And can I just say, is the political philosophy of this movie was adopted by Zen Buddhism?
It's
a very Zen Buddhist movie. If you like, peace, love,
it's a movie that you meditate to. You meditate. Put it on, good background soundtrack, and just like
exactly. There's lots of peace and love and good feelings.
Peace and love.
I had not watched this for such a long time until today, and I thought, this is fucking awesome. What a great movie. It's fantastic. Because I've always kind of liked the Ray Stevenson one the best. That's for me. And it'll be interesting to watch all three. But I'd forgotten just how good this one was. So glad you're doing it tonight, mate.
No, I'm happy to be doing it. I feel like this is one of those movies that doesn't get enough acknowledgement. And it's something that a lot of people don't know that even if flat out came out. So it's gonna be awesome to talk about all three of these because it's like I haven't watched this one prior to the last few nights because then last week I've watched it twice. Prior to that, it's been probably at least like 15, maybe 20 years since I've seen this.
Too.
It's been a long day. And I saw 04. I saw the 04 one in theaters opening day. And I remember I originally didn't see Warzone. You know what? We'll save that conversation for.
But it'll be a good conversation. That
Oh yeah,
all three of them talking about. Yeah.
But as I was watching it, 70s, I was gonna say it reminds me of a Cannon film. As you were watching,
it has those qualities of it.
Feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Similar budget, similar look and feel, similar all action. Shoot 'em up. Beat 'em up, stab 'em. Approach.
So what's up?
Make up for our shortcomings by just killing a lot of people.
Neon Knight, Southern Viking, Nick the Greek. Thank you guys for joining in. Yes, as I was watching it, I actually put on pause, picked on my phone to look. Is this a canon film? It's not. It just sure feels like it. And Nick, to answer your question earlier right away, since Toxic Tuesday has always been a movies thing, we're only going to talk the movies mainly. I'm sure a comment or two will be brought up as far as comparison, but as far as John Berthal's performance as a whole, we will not be covering that. By doing that, man, I don't know how I don't know how I'd reformat talking about the Daredevil season 2, the Punisher season 1 and 2. That probably have to be its own separate entity. But yeah, I'm sure some stuff will be brought into the conversation within these 3
talk
weeks.
about it a little.
Yeah, but as far as a full-on attentions thing, it won't get the same type of thing. But that just to answer your question, just in case if you have any I don't want to hurt you with disappointment. So
actually, we do want to hurt you, like the Punisher. We want to hurt you. We're gonna hurt.
All right. Well, we have just another red shirt here, but in our corners of the web, he's our red shirt.
I am the red shirt on Tuesday nights. This has been really interesting because I know most, if not all of you, and probably most of the people in the chat knew all about this character before you ever saw this movie. I've never seen a Marvel or DC comic book in my life, so none of this stuff rings with me until I see the movie. It just doesn't work. And I watched this movie and I went, wait a minute, this movie was made back in 1989?
Yeah, same year as Batman. Michael Keaton.
And the first question I asked, saw Batman. I saw Michael Keaton back then. And I was like, why didn't I watch this? So this is going to be fun. Because this was a very good movie, and you don't need to actually know all about the character, all about the comic book. This movie stands perfectly well by itself. And
Batman gets name checked in this movie, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I actually rewinded it just to see if I heard that correctly, because I didn't notice that many moons back 50 years ago. What's up, Rita?
And I don't know. I'm going to have to use this tonight, but I got Burt. Somehow I managed to get Burt Reynolds' laugh tonight. It must be a bitch fighting an 86 fat and a size 12 dwarf. Oh, man.
All right. We have Backdoor Gerry back on the show. Oh, Gerry.
Tonight, Gerry will be played by Jack Black.
Who's playing with Jack Black?
Sorry, you're playing with Jack Black? In a while is the joke. It's the joke, Brian. I'm sorry.
You're playing with Jack Black?
How's it going, Gerry?
Yes. And by the way, making fun of me for age, and then you have a boomer moment with your audio.
That wasn't my fault. It was the open intro video.
Yeah,
the intro video's fault. It muted me.
He does lube in.
I guess I should be paying attention.
What's up, Emperors?
We're going live.
You straight up, you waltz your way in, and the thing is, you still need to have my permission to slide in here. I let you in here, Gerry. I let you in here. Backdoor and all.
I know. I love the way you yield to me.
Hey, I always keep the door open. I never put a lock on it. So
I was so mad I didn't get to hang out with you guys today on Tom's channel. I'm like, God damn it, my friends are on and I can't hang out with them. I'm not cool enough for the club.
Tom was doing something today?
And then he fucking board games me because I got the cheaper membership. That's all I got. It was it.
Yeah, the cheaper membership.
Last of my money.
Oh no.
He does that. He does the like for I can't remember who it was that got the better membership, and he's got the puppy running on the treadmill. Then it shows for me he has the puppy with one paw going on the treadmill.
Oh shit, I gotta upgrade my membership now.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I didn't know that he fat shames us.
Yes, he is Backdoor Gerry. Yes. Shout out to Flip City Magazine.
Hey, it's Flip City. What's up, Kitty?
Subscribe. Yeah.
I love Kitty. She's awesome.
We had Kitty on about a month ago.
We're friends on Twitter here and on Facebook. I've known her for a while. She's awesome.
Oh, cool. Well, Gerry, it's good to have you. You've been
That's what
missed.
every woman says.
That's not what she said.
No,
It
in
is
these
what
corners, that's
every
what every
woman
man says. You got it wrong.
Every
Get your
man says
genders
it.
right. It's the men.
We dodge you.
Aye.
It's the men who appreciate you. So learn to appreciate your men, okay? And
That's
then we
why,
got Dearest.
I wanted to go in the Marine Corps because they're always looking for a few good men.
Oh, double reference.
Even you're not that gay.
Nobody's
Dearest,
gay as a Marine.
for $5 says great gritty action film of my childhood. If Netflix Punisher was more like this, it would have been amazing. Ooh, this is gonna be good. I am liking. All right, that's a hot take. All right, cool. I like that. Dearest leaving off strong tonight, long-hearted strong, if you will. So, dudes, Mark, do you need about another minute for it? Or
no, I shall. I'm working on a special appearance by someone, but let me get the slideshow going.
Good old Mad Mardigan special. We all
Yeah,
know. Yeah, good old after school special from Mad.
He made an appearance on my show yesterday, and he was on the show.
And he was on the show.
And he made an appearance on the screen, covering up the usual suspects. You know.
Yeah, the most I see him anymore is just
Mad.
Occasionally on Twitter. He's just in the background all the time watching.
I'm just amazed that you actually had the Mardigan. Like that's
he appeared on my show, and we had him up on the screen covering up some assets that we didn't want to be shown.
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
There's always a possibility.
Oh man. So okay.
There we go.
It was a New World. Okay, New World
Pictures.
Right.
I've never looked into it, and now this could be my lack of knowing how special effects work or lack thereof in this case. But Dolph Lundgren's 5 o'clock shadow, was that drawn on his face? Does anyone know? Because
it looks
I
so perfect.
look at that, I'm like, it looks like they took like a pencil and like maybe like that skin sensitive. Say, you know what? You may be clean shaven, but we'll just draw one on you. You don't need to grow it out. We'll just draw it on you, and it'll be fine. No one's gonna notice. And that's one of those little things that make me think of it as a canon film, but just because it's like, wow, they straight up drew that shit on his face. I laughed so hard at that because I get it. Frank Kissell does have a 5 o'clock shadow. It's part of his character. Mostly, most comic books, he does have that. Even the Spider-Man the animated series, they had that. So, yeah, I laughed at the fact that they had to draw it on his face. So freaking funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if Dolph Lundgren, 11 Alpha said, Dolph Lundgren's a natural blonde. Even if he grew a 5 o'clock shadow and they shaved it every day for filming, they'd still have to color it.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't be able to see it.
It was just like, they really did that. And that is freaking hilarious that they actually went there with the freaking 5 o'clock shadow. And yeah, and I know someone mentioned in the chat that he's a natural blonde. Yeah. I get it. That's true. He is.
How do you know? I was going to say, how do we know? But we have seen most of his assets in various movies. So possibly the cuffs do match the collar.
Well, no, we didn't actually know. We heard about his assets, but we didn't see him. But we know two people who have seen his assets.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
I have to say, Nancy Everhard rang a bell with me because I think I watched her brother back in the 1970s. In a different kind of movie.
Everhard.
Eric Everhard.
What did Nancy do to you? She made you never hard? What? Everhard?
Gerry, you were saying before that this intro reminded you of some stuff.
Well, it reminds me of the Night Gallery animation intro for the TV series. It was really weird. And on top of that, the writer of the show, the film, his name, all I could think of when I saw his name was, that sounds like what you would call the Russian move for helping a choking victim.
Boaz Yakin.
Yeah, Boaz Yakin.
Yakin. He's actually a pretty good writer. If you
I'm
look
going
at
to
what he
save
did.
this man and perform a Buzz Yakin on him.
I gotta give you one in the boas. It's just,
Yeah.
he actually wrote some quite good stuff.
Yes, he did.
Like The Rookie, Now You See Me, Max.
No,
Max is a great
absolutely.
movie. Yeah. They're quite good movies, yeah. But Boaz.
But this whole intro does remind me of something like from Night Gallery. It's such a weird animation for a movie. This looks like something you'd have for TV.
Well,
and
it's low budget, isn't it?
What was the
there's
budget
lo-
for this movie? Anyone know?
Oh, it's so hard to find out because we don't have like an internet thing.
Actually, it wasn't bad. It was according to Wikipedia, it's $9 million. So
Okay,
that's
so
three times the canon
what did I
movie.
miss?
You can make three canon movies for that.
Oh, what the budget of this movie?
Yeah, $9 million.
$9 million. Wow,
not
that actually
bad.
is. Yeah, that's
Pretty
actually
good.
considering that's the Punisher in 1989, when I guess
and it earned
I
30
wouldn't call it a
million.
superhero, but
Yeah.
a Marvel movie can have that budget at the time. That's
pretty
something
good.
else. Now
Yeah.
I want to give this movie as one of its strengths. I really love the opening credits sequence. I kind of remind me a little bit of James Bond. I thought about the Daredevil villain Bullseye a little bit. It felt very fitting for his character, and not the music.
It also has the exact same look and feel as as RoboCop, Nick.
Oh yeah, it does have that.
Even this camera shot, the way they did the camera on this with
Yeah.
the curved lens,
Good catch,
felt
yeah.
like RoboCop.
I
It's
agree.
really weird.
I strongly agree with that. Yeah, I could. Yeah, now you mention that, I can't help but
It's-
kind of unsee it.
That's
a
a
little.
peak. That's a peak late 80s hairstyle right there. That she's got.
So-
She looks like she's
right
wearing
now-
a raccoon. She's wearing a blonde raccoon.
But
I'm gonna
I
find
I
out
think-
real quick here.
I think
Go
she's
ahead.
wearing David Bowie on her head.
She's wearing.
Oh yeah, it does look a little bit like the Bowie. And yes, he was He-Man. So at this point in time, this is his second. I guess you could say IP based character maybe that came from a comic, because obviously it was He-Man first, and then the Punisher. And like He-Man, he did not come back for a sequel. These are
Honestly,
both his one and done.
Right? Yeah. And then He-Man movie was a damn good movie too.
And
Oh,
that actually was a canon movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I
Yes.
really liked that
We
He-Man.
did it
movie.
on Canon Film Club. We had a
Brian?
great show though. Yeah.
Brian, I just did the math on it. By today's dollar, their budget would have been 22.75 million.
It's
Not bad.
It's not bad, really.
No, that you could make, especially with if you give him like the skull logo, and you give him once again Dolph Lundgren, not expensive star. You could accomplish a lot with 22 million, and then probably would, now you factor in marketing, probably bring it to like 50, 60, 70 million. Yeah, you could actually probably have a profitable movie.
No,
No, nowadays.
22 million. You'd be looking at about 10 million for marketing. It'd be
Yeah,
about
and
32, 33.
Well, we don't know
And
what
for,
they spent on
for a
this.
$22 million budget, by comparison, by today's dollars, they made $77 million off of it.
That's
So
pretty
clearly,
That's nice
That's a
pocket
profit.
change.
it is a profit.
Yeah.
They made triple the budget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and with the John Wick
Yeah,
stunt
this is
team
good
too.
comment.
Oh yeah.
And
Comment.
how many studios today wish they could make treble the budget?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yep.
So okay, I'll just lead off for one of my aspects that I like about Lundgren appearance wise as Frank Kissell. He's got the height, the jawline, and somehow, even though he dyed his hair black, he pulls out the black hair. Now, I'm still a little bit more of a traditionalist that I prefer it slick back the way, the comics and Ray Stevenson did. But the bushier do, if you will, he does make it work for the context of his look of the character. I do appreciate the do. It's not a perm like Michael Douglas in per se Black Rain, but it's definitely he
put a lot of effort into this
more.
role.
He lets it hang out a little bit more the way Gerry lets it hang out.
So I want to ask
yeah,
you
exactly.
I want to ask you about this opening sequence because it seems is this from the comics
No,
because isn't this the same, roughly the same as what
outside of
Warzone?
the origin story? Outside the origin story, everything about this movie is its own thing.
Yeah, because the Warzone opening scene where he comes down.
It's very similar. It is.
Similar
It's very
in feel.
similar to what they did in Warzone.
Bunch of mobsters
You're right, Brian.
getting killed in their house when they think they're safe. I don't
They
know.
did- They did change the origin. You know, Frank Castle's origin happens in Central Park, where his family is wiped
Well,
out.
that
by,
was
to
my buddy
Coney
Mike
Island.
Barron that did that. Mike
Yeah.
Barron did that.
Yeah.
Coney for this movie is at Coney Island, was it? At Coney Island in this movie? Yeah.
Well, they get blown up in a car. You know, car bomb gone wrong. You know, the wrong.
Oh, look, that's the
wrong
closest.
person.
you get to a skull right there.
skull movie.
Is on a knife.
Yeah.
On a freaking
That was a
knife.
huge mistake.
That was a
No.
big disappointment. Yeah.
Now, okay, what I do like, as once again, as far as the character is concerned, I do like the build up to his appearance. The whole who is the Punisher, even though some have an idea it's Frank Castle, is the fact that he kind of does the whole man in the shadows type of thing. I do like that aspect. Us, the viewer, we already know he looks like we see him, but the fact that the public don't, I love that angle. I thought that was actually a really great angle to play off of for building
Well,
up to when people actually see him.
The one thing I want to compliment him on, and I think you'll all agree with this, is that Dolph Lundgren fought the studio on his look because they were wanting him to get tan and fit.
I'm glad
And
he did
he
not
argued
tan up.
his character lived in a sewer. He
Uh-huh.
gets no sun. And
Right.
he says, I'm not going to get tanned. And he actually fought them on that. And he came up
Either
with
that or he
the look.
looked like a turtle.
Yeah, I know. Get some good theme music.
What I know, I'm glad you mentioned that because I do know that he purposefully had late nights where he didn't sleep so he
The
could
dark
have
rings.
the bags under his eyes, look delirious, look tired, look out of his mind, and he pulled out the part because I was like, okay, that's either really good makeup or he actually did that shit. Turns out he actually did that shit. I love that aspect that he actually really,
I wouldn't be
he committed to
surprised
his role.
too. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't also consult with Stallone on how to play this character, because there's a lot of Stallone-isms in this film and how he delivers his lines, and Cobra had come out 3 years before.
Yes, 3 years before, 86. Because Cobra had, God, who was Cobra competing against at that time in 86? There's another movie Cobra was competing against. And Cobra's the same year as Predator.
Yeah, but you know that Rutger Hauer, when he played his action movie, not The Hitcher, but the one where he's the hero, I forget the name of it, where he's Dead or Alive. And he consulted Schwarzenegger and Stallone for his character's role.
Stallone.
So I wouldn't be surprised because Dolph has a close friendship with Stallone. I bet you he consulted him on how to play this character.
I'm sure there's consulting going all the way up until when Arnold got decked by Stallone and Escape Plan. He's like, oh, you hit like a vegetarian.
You hit like a vegetarian.
I laughed so hard at that line because it's just as absurd as the Killian here's Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. Nothing about that line makes any sense because it's like, okay, how does a vegetarian punch? A, B, whether Stallone is vegetarian or not is neither here nor there because if I got hit by Stallone, I would probably die. So if that's what getting hit by a vegetarian feels like, I'll pass still when it comes to Stallone. As far as I'm aware, Stallone, vegetarian or not, I will pass. Thank you very much.
And his face looks so airbrushed right now.
Yeah, that's why I paused it there.
Look like him.
Does it look like a beard or does it look?
I don't think that's real at all.
It looks like a light marker. They took a marker.
Yeah, it looks like somebody makeup person would let's smudge it a little. We'll smudge it and it'll make it look more real.
It could be a beard, but it's colored like you said. So
so
comes
weird
into blonde. Yeah.
That's what you get for
the only thing
sleeping.
that hurts is the accent. I think though that
You look like that when you sleep in a sewer. That's what that
Hold on, Mark.
Yeah,
You were
it's
saying
fungus.
about the
It's
accent.
not hair.
The accent hurts him because Castle's an undercover, is a New York NYC cop. So that's the one thing I don't, I like his performance. I really think he's fits the role perfectly. It's just, its accent just takes you kind of get by it after a while, but it does take you out of the movie just in terms of being a Punisher purist. I mean, it doesn't say that. Doesn't mean he has, he can't have an accent, but he should be talking like a little bit more like a New Yorker,
Well, yeah. That's one thing. Again, you don't have to know where he's supposed to be from or whatever. He's supposed to be a ex-New York cop. He doesn't sound like it.
No, definitely does not. He sounds like Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
His performance is really good, though. I was watching it today. I thought Lundgren's really good in this.
Sean Connery once played a Spaniard. He sounded just like he was Scottish. So,
well, he was actually Egyptian. He was an Egyptian with a Spanish name.
I did a whole comedy routine on every foreigner he's ever played, always sounding Scottish. Says, right. Well, of course, it was the hairpiece that made me.
Yes,
he had hairpiece. Oh dear,
it was the hairpiece.
Hairpiece will do that too.
Yeah, I know.
What you pay?
Connery can do whatever goddamn accent he wants, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, when he plays the Arab in Wind and the Lion, the joke was like, "But you still sound Scottish." He goes, "Well, I wore a turban."
That's the way he says the word turban as well. That's exactly it.
So okay, now Dolph Lundgren is probably what in this movie 6'5", 6'6", maybe, almost like the height of the Undertaker.
I've met him and he stood 3 to 4 inches taller than me, and it was amazing.
It sounds like you're ready to get pounded by him when you say it like that.
Oh man, I was so excited to go to dinner with him.
Taller than me. You're swarming me, Dolph.
Well, I told you that night it was a Thanksgiving dinner. He was dating Ann, my best friend's sister, and right when I get there, Jim Woodward's like, "You can't ask him any questions about Masters of the Universe. Mom has made it clear." And I went, "That's the only reason I came."
Oh.
So while I'm sitting at
I came in through the back door.
In the ass?
In the ass? While we're sitting there, he brings up taking what do you call it? That special acting where you learn to integrate real life into it with
method acting.
Method. And I said, "Did you?" And I couldn't help it right then. I just blurted out, "Did you use method when you played He-Man?"
Oh God!
Jim Woodward kicked me under the table really hard.
Wow.
He said, "Yes, I did."
So you've had dinner with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. Oh, I've
Holy
had dinner with
crap.
a lot of famous people. That was just one of
Wow.
them. Yeah. But it was funny because
what was his personality?
him
like?
kicking me made Dolph Lundgren laugh. Because I reacted to it like Lou Costello's like, "Ow!"
What was Dolph's personality like?
No, I'm going to tell
nice
you.
guy?
Look, he was really nice, and he actually brought up a lot of. Are you ready for this? Chemistry and physics. And
Well,
so
he's
Jim
a
and I,
super genius.
because Jim Woodward and I are both into the sciences, so we're really like engaged with that. And he seemed like a nice guy, but later we found out he was kind of a horse's ass with Anne, and so they broke up, and it was an ugly breakup. And then she went off to marry one of the richest movie producers in history, Robert Evans.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah.
You know who that is? Yeah,
yeah.
Anne is the widow of Robert Evans, and I'm like 1 degree separation from her, and she won't talk to me anymore because she's too famous now. It's like you hit a point. It's like, man, I used to watch her fart. What are you talking about? You won't talk to me.
You actually sat and watched her. How close
Fuck
were you?
yeah.
To that?
She was
Like,
really
did she have her
good
legs
looking.
open? I mean, were you right?
That
in there?
was not what I
she's
did
one of
here.
She was a polite farter. She would
Too much information.
I almost
lean.
spat
Was
my
this
drink out.
some kind of Hollywood
Jesus God.
perversions
Lean.
here? Or...
God.
Hold on, dude. Hold
Hollywood
on.
wacko.
I'm
farting
telling you how
club
she
tonight.
started. She would lean to one side like she was trying to do something.
Nobody talks
And it
about
was-
Fart Club.
It was one of those silent but deadly moments, and I caught on to her doing it, and I'm like, "You're
You
farting
forgot the
politely."
rule, Gary. Nobody talks about Fart Club.
That's right. Yep. No,
That
the
was
SPDs.
the
The
worst.
SPDs are the worst.
Timing ever as I'm drinking a glass of whiskey that I almost
That'll
choked
teach
on.
you. You should never drink around Tom or me or Brian.
Yeah, you and Mrs. Red Shirt, Nick. She's like, don't say that when I'm drinking something.
Seriously.
That's like that stand-up routine that Carlin did after he had his heart attack on Carson, and he did his first comeback after the heart attack, and he was talking about his dog farting on the bed, and he says, "Well, I saw the dog fart," and she's like, "You were looking at it?" He goes, "Yeah, I looked right at his ass, and it puckered." Just like what?
When I was thinking about what I'd have to prepare for tonight in terms of the Punisher and Dolph Lundgren, it wasn't about watching people fart. That was like nowhere on my list. It was like the Punisher and farting.
Yeah. Don't have that on my list. No.
But God bless Gary. We always get something new from him.
Well, Gerry always brings the special
He lets you know
stories.
he's capable of more than one thing in the back door, whether it's breaking or entering.
On Fridays, Nick, on our Friday show, TGIF, I actually play a game now. It's called Would I Lie to You, which is a famous British comedy series. It's still going. I love it. And in it, I tell a fucked up story, and it's up to people in the audience to vote on if the story is true or not, and the people on the show have to guess if I'm lying or telling the truth.
That's a great game. Great game.
Oh, I love that game, man.
That show is so good. The British TV show, so funny.
Oh my God, yes.
Paul Merton's on it. Paul Merton's incredible.
I binged the first 8 seasons.
Yeah, Paul Merton can lie like no problem. But
can we get back to the farting?
So Jerome Krebs here, he's always playing a slimy fucker, isn't he?
He looks like he's a slimy fucker.
He's good at playing slimy fucker. He did it with James Bond. He does it here.
He's got
the Harrison Ford movie, the one-armed man.
That's right. He was in that. I forgot about that.
His supposed friend. Yes,
Putin's cat calling it the knowledge. That's right,
and he's the one who did it. Yeah.
Fugitive. That's it. Yeah, Fugitive. That's it. Putin's cat.
Just rewatching that recently.
Yeah, he was a slimy fucker in that.
Yeah.
So good.
Whatever happened to him? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Good question.
That's that's the other most interesting character right there on the right.
Still alive. 79.
Oh yeah, he's fascinating. The guy who
Nick Castle does the weirdest, or Frank Castle does the weirdest thing to him here in a minute, and sends a radio controlled Mack truck, little tiny, to bring him a bottle of whiskey. I'm like, why the fuck did they do that? That is just such an absurd fucking thing to do. It's like, what? God, some of the decisions in this kill me. But there's some
one thing
dialogue.
I thought maybe they were gonna do, like, when you first watch it, maybe they introduce Micro, into the movie or something, something high tech. It's like, why didn't he just like attach a string to the effing bottle and wait around the corner? It's like, we've got budget, let's waste it and make something look cool. But Micro would have done something.
Micro
like that.
should be. It wasn't like he wasn't a character at this point. And before anyone, in case there's anyone, not that we're preaching to the choir here, but in case there's the odd possibility that there's a contrarian in the watching the show, someone could say, oh, but they didn't have time to make the character. Well, nowadays, when the day and age where they create characters for all different Marvel, DC, or whatever, and they bring those characters straight into the shows and movies. And at this point, when the movie came out, Micro had been a character already for 2 years. So it wasn't like they couldn't do it. And he was obviously created by, someone who we know in our sphere, Mr. Mike Barron, him and Klaus Janson, another very notable comic name. So they could have brought him in. They could have easily brought in Micro. But no,
he was a popular character, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, my debut of the Punisher, when I thought about the Punisher, my debut of the character was, of course, Spidey animated series. Even though, he had the blue on, the skull was notable, but what else was notable outside of that? The white gloves and boots, the guns, his attitude. He had a battle van, and he had Micro as his right-hand man. And, well, we don't get a battle van. We don't get Micro. But he does have a cool motorcycle. So at
But
least he has that. But go ahead.
Cool thing about Shake here, as useless a character as he is, I mean, basically he's just trying to feed. He's been sent to get information. But at one point in the movie, I turned to Mrs. Redshirt and I said, "If Shake buys it, that's it." Because he is right now, he is acting as the Punisher's conscience. He's the only thing holding him back. And she looked at me and she went, "You're right." Because he's the guy later on who says, wait a minute. Do the innocent have to suffer when the guilty are punished? He's trying to keep him focused and make him realize that you can't just go and lay waste to everything. As useless as the character
wear clothes when you come out of the sewer as well. You still got to wear clothes.
Yes, you got to wear clothes. Yeah, right. Because you're gonna shock people if you don't. Come on, man, you got to put some clothes on. But yeah, I thought he was a really interesting character because it's kind of like, and again, I don't have the background. So you have the Punisher. He's a former cop. His family was killed. He's out for revenge, and his conscience is a drunk English actor. It's perfect. I mean, talk about...
Are you calling me a thespian?
No, I'm not saying you wear sensible shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a fascinating character to me in this movie. I loved him because he was important without being involved in everything, which was kind of cool. It was like, yeah, and he is useless. I mean, he's following this little motorized truck around with a bottle of what looked like Johnny Walker on it. And it's like, oh man, you are definitely low on the totem pole if you're following that around. It's like, oh, I got to get that. And it's like, oh shit, here he is. But in the end, he is the conscience. It
so
seems to be.
He's not completely useless then by that logic, Red.
He's not. No, he's not. He's actually as useless as he is most of the time. At certain moments, he's crucial, and that was kind of funny to me.
Jiminy Cricket is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. The conscience. He's Jiminy Cricket. Yes, exactly. Okay. And of all of the characters in this movie, he was the second most interesting to me after the Punisher.
Hey, that's fair. I see. I didn't think about rewatching it, but now that you mention like that, I definitely see where you're coming at. It definitely kind of gives me a newer appreciation of the character because I feel like it's pretty obvious that it's there, and it's just something I didn't notice because all I could see, because maybe it was the way I was paying attention, was how useless it seemed. But I guess not, man. That is freaking awesome. No, I definitely appreciate
for the Punisher. Let's put it this way: from what I saw of in this movie of the Punisher, he doesn't have a whole lot of use for a conscience. So that guy makes a really good conscience for him.
Yeah,
and that's a man of action. That's definitely a micro element because Micro like kind of kept him in check, whether it was in the comics or even in the Spider-Man animated series, which goes to show you could put the Punisher, have him still act the way he does, and still put him into a kid's setting. Now, I'm not saying that should be the way of handling his character going forward. I'm just saying, as far as a special appearance, you can make it work for that appearance in that context. Yeah, Micro did have that aspect of, hey, good idea, Frank. Oh, hold on. I don't know. That may be a bit too far. He would be the guy who kind of actually would challenge Frank on what was too far or not. Yeah, he was there to make sure that Frank did not have the echo chamber of his own thoughts. Micro was his rock in that regard.
Yeah,
he definitely held him together on a level of humility, if you will. And yes, rest in peace to Louis Gossett. I don't know how we didn't get to it sooner. Obviously, he passed on a few months ago, and he is a pretty big role in this movie as Jake.
Oh yeah, he's you find out a lot later on in the movie, and I think that's why this movie works. I mean, it's not just yeah, there's plenty of action and violence, like we're seeing here, but there's a heart to this movie, and you feel for Lundgren's character. Frank Castle. It's a tragedy. Aside from changing how his family is killed, he's still got that motivation. And I love the setup. He's killed 125 mobsters over the last 5 years. So, the origin story. It's not like we've seen Spider-Man's origin story 100 times in movies. That takes forever. I mean, they give you his backstory. All you need to know with those flashbacks. And one of the fun things I was just reading was that in one of them with flashbacks, his kids are wearing Spider-Man pajamas, and that's a tribute to to the Punisher first appearing in Spider-Man comics. But the stunts are great in this movie. As I'm reading about it, and put some of that in the private chat so we can talk about. But the stunt actors were phenomenal in this, and they hired. Well, they didn't hire stuntmen. They hired. They hired. I can't say the name. Koshiyuki Karatakas and trained them to perform their own stunts. I can't speak Japanese, so I apologize. But they trained real martial artists to do the stunts, and of course, Lundgren is a martial artist himself. The director
is that the same person that's in the new Assassin's Creed game? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it's just the movie really looks good. I think too. So I mean, I remember watching this. The first time I saw this was actually was taking a trip and just came up in the hotel room and started watching it with Mrs. D, and she liked it too because and she had no idea it was a Marvel Comics or a Punisher thing. It plays more like a crime, a crime drama, and of course then it gets pretty violent. But there's a heart to this story, and that's why the Punisher works as a character. I mean, he's always been a controversial character in terms of the comics and appearing in Marvel. And how does that work with as the anti-hero? And of course I guess we got to talk about too what Marvel has done to the character. They don't even want to have him showing the skull logo because it says it's been co-opted by too many military organizations and cops and used the wrong way. So there's a whole political side to that too. So basically I think then what did they do lately? They killed off Frank Castle, and he's in heaven or limbo somewhere, and then there's a new person is going to take on the mantle that I can't remember who it is, and it looks like this doesn't even look like the skull anymore. They gave him like a crazy looking skull, and just Marvel just balls up. It's like, this is the character, right? If you just want to cancel the character and not use him anymore, then just do that. Don't neuter the character. So
that's what they're emasculate him. That's all they want to do nowadays is absolutely neuter this character. Like, no matter who they get on to write the character nowadays, it's clear that they hate this character just because people that they don't agree with on a political angle, they see that, they like this character. Well, because they like this character, we now need to butcher this character, because it's such a weird mentality that people who you don't agree with, you have problem with them liking something. Like, they have this weird thing that they cannot like anything. It's like they're trying to strip away any humanity of anyone. It's like, okay, why can't certain people like anything? Like,
you have to be approved. You have to be approved to like things.
Very cult-like to me. It's very cult-like. Us.
When
I know
you're
that
talking
term
about
is
these
a bit
checkbox
overused
people,
nowadays.
Everything has to have some sort of meaning for them. If it doesn't have the meaning that they approve, they don't want it.
Oh yeah.
They turned Frank Castle. He was working for the Hand in the end. They killed him off, and it was just. I mean, I didn't buy any of the comics or read it. It was just so mortified by what they were doing to him.
I heard about what they're doing. And I'm just like, and it doesn't surprise me. I know they're trying to rewrite history too, because people don't know that. And I'll say it was rewriting history, where they're trying to make it this thing where he hated that they're using the cops were using his badge. And I'm not going to turn this into a pro cop or anti-cop angle here, but the Punisher, how I'm saying this, he's always just seen the police as they're the police. There's good cops and there's bad cops. And he's acknowledged when there's good, and he's acknowledged when there's bad. but instead they decided to say, "Oh, he was always this. Look, he's undoing one of the beds." I'm like, yeah, maybe he could have done that same idea. Mentioned, hey, just so you know, I'm not a good example. Maybe you should just kind of take down my logo. But no, they had to make it an anti-cop angle along with the remote.
Well, they do that on the show too from Netflix.
Mean the upcoming D+ show?
First season, cops are bad guys, and in the second season, it's the religious right.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just like, and that's one thing I didn't
And here's
like.
what-
It's like,
I was just say, there's what they did to the Punisher logo here. So, and
that was
Gary's our resident artist. How bad is that? I mean, and they made him, like a ninja warrior. I mean, just they're trying to get away from it because, well, just cancel the character then. If you have the guts to,
the
do it,
skull
then just get rid of
from the Punisher is iconic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Military units have adopted it.
I actually see that's probably the one thing I've seen of the Punisher before I watched this movie was the skull logo, which is on all of the blades he uses in this movie.
Yeah. Is there a way? Now, I don't know how business works with this stuff, but is there a way where, let's just say, Marvel just decided that they were over it and not wanting to use this character? Could they voluntarily give up the character for it to be used for, I guess you could say, public domain use?
No, they'll never do that.
No, I know
because they don't want the character. You can let the copyright expire. You don't have to pay for the copyright. The logo can be copyrighted, but how are you going to stop cops from putting this on their car, military units from putting it in their car? But the bottom line is they don't want this character to be anywhere, way, shape, or form. This vigilante who takes the law into his own hands, they can't stand that. Of course, we have that. We had the background of the right, but the ironic thing is, it's a good thing to have a character like this. You can debate whether or not it's good that someone does this or bad, or you can have that tell those tales. And the Garth Ennis Punisher that I have back on the screen, back on my camera there. That's some fantastic. It's a fantastic read to read that run a Punisher. And they delve into that. It's been a long time since I read it, but it's nothing's black or white. But they just don't want to even have that discussion. they're just they're such pussies that they can't even have that published anymore. Talk about it or
they don't want a debate.
Well, look at the reaction to Paul Kersey and the Death Wish movies.
I've heard about it.
I mean, that was controversial at its time, which is almost 20 years earlier. And
that's Wish for people who don't.
And we've talked about it. We've done it on this show, and I brought up Roger Ebert because I always like to poke fun at Roger Ebert. But yeah, this movie's the same kind of thing. It's a vigilante. That's really bad with people who are very fond of having the government take care of everything. And vigilantes are the people
and just so
who
you to know, Red Shirt.
Yes.
I have poked fun of Roger Ebert to his face and to his ass.
Oh,
what?
I didn't. Okay, no, that's too much. That's TMI.
But did you watch him fart though? Have you watched Roger Ebert fart?
No, we actually had the conversation.
We went to a sub shop
about you having lunch with him. So that
told
was
you
cool.
this.
Of course,
yes.
You had to stop or you had to have meat with him. Go on.
It was during Cyberfest in '97, Nick, and we went to a sub shop, picked up sub sandwiches, and we were guests of the Virginia Theater in Champaign, Illinois, during Cyberfest, celebrating the creation of HAL 9000 at the University of Illinois. So we were going to go to a special 70 millimeter print of the film. And we were getting up in the balcony. And as we go walking up the balcony, Roger's right in front of me. And he's got that sandwich tucked in his arm like a football as he's going up the stair, one hand on a rail. And he stumbled. And when he stumbled, he really tucked that shoulder in to protect the sandwich when he fell forward onto the steps.
Smart man.
And he heard me chuckle behind him. And he shot me a dirty look. And I went, "Sandwich safe."
Gotta save the sandwich, Roger.
Look, because I just thought that was funny.
Oh, it is.
Oh, look at that
'Cause he's a
OS
fat
there.
guy. Just if you understand, he was a portly fellow.
Oh yes,
That looks like fixed disc organizer.
It is. It
Is
is.
it
Holy shit!
FDO?
Oh,
Is
God,
that's
yeah.
fixed
Yeah.
disc organizer, FDO.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Holy
we are
shit.
old. I love
Yep.
fixed disc
Yeah,
organizers.
shut up.
That was a
Stop giving
that was
your
a
age away.
menus. That was a menuing system you had when you had a hard drive called a
Yeah.
fixed disc back
Look,
then.
come on. If you're not doing command level, then you're just a wimp.
If you're not programming on the bare metal, you don't know what the fuck.
Exactly. Your menus, your graphics. And
Yes, yes, it helped you launch all your programs. Oh
Frauds.
God, and just something I use that so much. I mean, just to, yeah. Oh wow, that was a classic.
It's pretty
and-
neat to see that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
No.
this is the pro. Yeah, this is the fixed disc organizer. Yeah, yeah. Sorry to nerd and geek out, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is or something.
Yeah.
Phantom,
No, we used it too. It is.
I am aware of this. I am aware, very well aware about Jerry Conway, one of the co-creators of Free Kissell. He's not a fan that people. Now I get why he doesn't, like, as crazy as Jerry Conway is, but do people have
he's
a
a
right to
big
use
lefty.
it? Yeah, I know, but I'm not looking at it from that perspective. Do they have a right to use it? Yeah. Do I think that they should? I could see why he should, but the problem, he's looking at only strictly from a sense of pettiness. Because the thing is, yes, the justice system does fail a lot, and he's supposed to represent the failures of the justice system. But what the police do versus what the courts and the judges do are separate things, which is something he's not capable of separating. Because I bet you if he saw that type of thing at, let's just say, a BLM riot, he would have not batted two shits. That type of thing probably shouldn't be used by any of them. Now, once again, are they all allowed to use it? Yeah. I'm not a fan of that, but they're still allowed to use it. But he's only looking at it because people he doesn't agree with want to use it. So that's the issue I have with Conway on it. Yes, and he was obviously a very fantastic
My
writer.
issue with him is that he mispronounces his first name.
Oh,
It's true.
Yeah.
Heinous crime. Heinous.
Heinous
Heinous
crime.
Gerry, and he's Gerry.
Hey, Mark, I just sent you a video privately on Twitter. for this
Oh, is it
movie.
safe for me to watch it?
It's a clip from this movie. Yes. it's
Oh,
safe
okay,
to
yeah.
watch. No more. I promise I won't send any more of me playing a kazoo with my butthole. I swear to God.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more of you farting in my Twitter feed.
Conway does have no say, but the problem is some people actually listen to him. And that's the problem I have. They should have not listened to him and just say, you know what, screw it. Why do we need to listen to this guy?
Right.
That's fine. That's the problem I have with people who listen to him. You don't have to listen to these crazy people. That's the problem. A lot of people do that because, well, they're thinking, okay, well, I don't want to cause the issue. Well, that's how these people continue to do this stuff because they always want more. So you might as well just say screw it and just don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. So anyways, let's get back on the movie per se, since we've gone on a lot of tangents that somehow have all related to this movie. Impressively. That's probably the best tangent we've ever gone on. That was not about the movie, but was connected to the movie per se. Now, for me, what I like about Dolph's portrayal here, the absolute coldness of he just will accept if he, doesn't live. He has absolutely no desire to keep on going in any regard possible. Like, obviously, you see with the tired eyes, even though he's got people there to try to balance him out, he's just going through the motions in his own head. He goes in there, he goes out there, he kills, he goes back, he dwells, but he doesn't have any, I guess you could say figuratively, any soul to him. I guess soul would be to it.
It's just operating in automatic, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's on autopilot. He's on autopilot.
Yeah.
Permanently.
He doesn't have
He
doesn't have a future. He's got a now. I got to do this.
Yes.
What happens if you get everybody? That's not in his mind. There is no end to what he's doing. I punish the guilty.
He
And then
looks like Elvis right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a result, the innocent now suffers. That's what I said. That's why the guy is his conscience. But no, he doesn't have an end game. It's like me playing chess. I'm really good at the middle of the game, but I don't know how to finish a game. And he doesn't know how to finish this game. He doesn't know where it's going to end. It's just going to go. Tell me I'm wrong. Anybody who knows more about this comic than I do, he doesn't have an end game. He's just going to keep going until he runs out of people to go after.
Yeah, this is just him. This is how he continues his life. This is him moving on. This is him living until, well, he dies, whenever that may be.
Yeah, he's just existing.
He is. He's just existing, breathing.
Well, his family's gone. He doesn't care.
Right.
I want to give credit to one thing I really liked about this, and I'm mad it didn't become a thing in the comics, was Kim Miori's portrayal of Lady Tanaka. I actually thought she was a cool villain, and the fact that they didn't take her, make it into a comic character was, in my opinion, a big missed opportunity. The same way Harley Quinn became a villain in the comics from the cartoons. I feel like that character would have been very effective for a comic, and the fact that they did nothing with it, and it's like, dude, you guys made a comic book on the movie, which they did, by the way. They did make a comic book based on this movie, and they gave him the skull in this movie, but they should have made that character into a comic character. I actually thought she was a very effective character. Anytime you bring in Yakuza type of characters, they always make for great action scenes and great villains. I feel like that was a big missed opportunity, because at this point, all you have is Frank Castle and the origin story and the appearance of Frank Castle as far as comic book relations.
Am I the only one who was reminded of Lucy Liu in a Kill Bill?
Kinda.
The female Yakuza who knows the guys are all going to treat her like crap, so she has to be the biggest badass in the room every time she walks into her room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was an interesting villain, because she definitely had the mafia on the run.
Oh, dude, she made them look like the soy boys, because in their own line of work, they are the alphas. But she just kind of came into the room, let them know this is how things are gonna be. I'm gonna run. She did that in the freaking 80s. This wasn't something that just happened now. She did that.
And by the way,
80s.
Nick, that's the clip I sent to Nick, is because it is one of the best lines in the film, what she says there.
Oh,
in fact, I think it is the best line in the film when she said, "When your ancestors were sheep herders on the Mediterranean, my family were the crime lords of Japan or all of Asia."
What's wrong with being a sheep herder?
Well, I don't know. She apparently has a problem with them.
I don't get the prejudice. Sorry. I just
plus the Romans were kicking ass back then.
That's just anti-Scottish bigotry. That's all it is.
We're carrying on a Roman tradition, and a Greek tradition.
What was that? Oh, did I hear a sheep bang?
You never know what you'll hear in the background at 70s.
Oh,
I have never been in the background at 70s.
If you're in the foreground, though.
I stay in the chat, dude.
Why?
So I was telling you about how Marvel took issue with an army unit. It was the Deuce 4 during their campaign in Iraq with their Stryker Brigade. And after they would breach a building and kill anybody inside, they would tag the building. Outside, they would take a cutout of the skull and they'd spray paint on the wall. And it had the Punisher skull, just like what you see right here. And with the Deuce 4 in its forehead. And they left that on any building they breached and killed people in. And Marvel took umbrage with it. Eventually they stopped doing it.
I'll put it. Yeah, you said Gerry sent it to me, so I'm going to put it in the. I'll add it as an overlay in one.
Yeah, this is the photo. The one I sent you is from 2004, after they breached one neighborhood where it was not a dry hole, as they would call it, where they hit the building and there were some bad guys inside and they wasted them.
So Mark Goldblatt, director, by the way, of this movie, was the reason why we did not get a skull on Dolph Lundgren's Frank Castle. Now, there were some promo
That makes him an
images that
asshole.
showed, yes, there were some promo images that showed he had like a miniaturized one on the side. And his reasoning for that, he was trying to, at the time, make the character feel realistic and modern. Because something about a skull on a shirt, vest, jacket, whatever, somehow, of all the things, that's unrealistic. Meanwhile, in 1989, you had a Batwing go up in the sky and start shooting down at the Joker. And that's totally more
A woman
realistic.
at the head of the Yakuza is believable.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Never
Yeah.
gonna happen.
By his logic, he thought he was modernizing. That was a big mess up to do that, like, of all things. Because if you're able to forgive that element, which I get for some, that was a deal breaker. I get it. That to me is like, no, Spider-Man without the spider emblem or without the eyes. I get it. I totally get it. But let's just pretend that you could go past those things. He's got the black hair, got the jawline, the 5 o'clock show, even though it's drawn. And he's got the action scenes and the badassery and the coldness of Frank Castle down Dolph Lundgren. Overall, he was well casted for the part. Overall, he was well casted. But yeah, the skull missing there is definitely, it hurts things. I can understand for some why it was a deal breaker. But
well, Mrs. Redshirt asked me when we were watching this after, not that long into the movie. She's like, am I supposed to think this is believable? And I said, well, rumor has it this is a cartoon. I mean, this is a comic book character. So I would say no, I think this is supposed to be over the top. And she was like, oh, okay. And that actually speaks to the whole idea of whether the Punisher should have the logo. Because even without the logo, this does not look like a realistic movie.
No.
It looks like a comic book movie. It looks like Hellboy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call it hyper reality. It's just
right.
It's your hokey 80s movie.
It's like an alternative.
What I would like to
universe.
see is one of you adventurous CG people out there make a fan version and digitally put the skull on it.
Is this a Twisted Sister video? Because that's what it looks. Those haircuts look like
The 80s. It's the 80s. Yep, lots of big hair. Yep. And we have a special appearance coming up if you just keep your eyes.
Yeah. No, and Dearest, you absolutely nailed it. It is an 80s it's straight traditional 80s action movie with Frank Castle's origin story attached to it. That is as Marvel as it gets there as far as comic book element. Oh.
That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting him to be elsewhere, but that's
that is scary. That is very, very scary and horrific. And Mad Mardigan should be sued for that.
I mean, you look at not. I don't think it was that much. I don't know how many years apart they were, but like Black Rain, which was mentioned, I think.
Yeah,
before.
those 2 or 3 years, maybe 4.
Yeah, it was a couple of years. They're both 80s action movies. Black Rain is, because, one cop dies, the other one comes off as a complete screw up, and you believe that this is real. You can buy into that. Michael Douglas in Black Rain really has to, make good on his mistakes, and the Japanese don't have any. They don't trust him at all, and he has to go up against as here to a certain extent the Yakuza. This feels much more like Hellboy, a comic book based movie, whereas that felt like You screw this up, you make one mistake, you're done. So there's a different level here. Yes, Castle is not unwoundable. He can be hurt, and he does get hurt. He does get wounded. But the difference is that he's going to win, is the feeling I got from this movie. Whereas in Black Rain, I didn't know.
He's the hero. Yeah.
Yeah, he is the hero, and he starts as the hero, and he ends as the hero. Whereas in Black Rain, I didn't know whether Michael Douglas was going to pull it off. And I love that movie too. I mean, I really like that.
It's another Ridley Scott film. Michael Douglas, Andy Garcia.
Yes,
it's a very good film. It's also got to tie into Blade Runner, other than Ridley Scott, is that they use again the Ennis Brown house with those amazing tiles.
So Davina Duckworth, thank you, Davina, mentioned that Black Rain was also 89. You know, I just put together Black Rain and Punisher 89. Not only were they both 89, they were both movies that had the Yakuza involved.
Yeah, we've done Black Rain, haven't we? We did.
We did do Black Rain as a Toxic Tuesday many moons back. Yes, we did.
Now, there's a guy from the Deuce 4 right there, and that's what I was talking about. They would tag the building.
Yeah.
I know.
And Marvel wasn't happy when they found out about that, and it's too bad. They kept doing it until eventually that unit moved on. And
the commanders just say you can't do it anymore. Or what's the ration? I mean, they can order not to do it, I guess.
To my knowledge, they continued doing it until they left Iraq.
Okay, so basically they didn't listen. At least they didn't listen.
They're infantry. Right. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. we have
to send me to a war zone.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Put me on KP? Fuck
exactly.
Yeah.
Just the
what are you gonna do? Send me to Iraq? Oh, wait a minute.
But that was absolutely the Punisher skull that they used.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine our enemies, thinking, "Oh my God, the Americans are worried about what their units are."
Well, these units were with fear of God into Allah into these Hajis in Iraq, and they were terrified of these guys. They were terrified of the 72nd Brigade Strikers and the Deuce 4, because those two put a hurt locker on the insurgency and killed a lot of them.
They should be scared of them. That should be a thing.
That skull helped a lot.
Yes,
and it led to some of the ballistic and masks, the ballistic masks and the cloth masks they wear, having skulls on them, which is what Ghost wears in the Call of Duty campaigns.
So someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Abigor earlier in the chat, asked if I had heard the Biohazard song. I have. I know I took a sample from this. It's been a long time since I've listened to Biohazard, but let's just say Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. If you're still out there, Abigor, I do remember what. I do. Oh, look at that face. Oh, he looks like he has that fart face from Gerry. Did you see that face he had? He had the Gerry fart. He had that stupid face. Oh, that's such a ridiculous face. Now, Dolph was not pleased with this movie, and because he was not pleased, we obviously and unfortunately we did not get a sequel. But man, do you guys think he might pop up for those who will see it? Because I know it'll be someone who don't. But for those who plan on seeing it, do you think he'll pop up in Deadpool and Wolverine?
I hope so. I actually am very fond of this film. I don't think it's a great film by any measure of the word.
Okay,
but I do like this movie.
So you like the movie, hey? Okay. So you are a fan of it. Mamma mia. Okay. I get behind that.
It's a tragedy Ray Stevenson.
But I'd make sure he wore the Punisher skull.
It's a tragedy Ray Stevenson's no longer with us, because we could have had all the Punishers together.
Oh, the Punisher verse.
He is the best. In my opinion, he's the best Punisher so far, even including what's his name? Barenthal.
John Bernthal.
because I just think that he nailed the character. The movie was fucked up, but I enjoyed his performance more than
Isn't
anybody.
Punisher supposed to kind of be fucked up?
Yeah, that's why I like
So-
it. No, the movie
so-
was fucked up, not him. No, they
Well-
did some goofy shit in there. Jigsaw was and his brother just dumb.
Well, I didn't mind the look of the face. I thought that was way better than like the Netflix show.
No, it's his performance that drove me.
It looked
crazy.
like the Italian Red Skull.
Hated that they changed his last name. It's like, why did you have to change? It's Billy Russo. Just you don't need to make. It's the most unnecessary change. Just keep it as is, man. There's no need to change that. And yes, I remember that game during the PS2 days. That was actually a fun game. I know there's one during the Genesis Super NES days. I never played it, but I remember though the PS2 game, and that was fun. That was that time where some of those games were starting to get good. You had some of the Spider-Man games up. You had the 2 Hulk games. You had the one based off of the story after the 2003 movie and Ultimate Destruction, which had the Brian Hitch art on the front cover. But then there was the Deadpool game, and there was the Punisher game. The Punisher game was actually fun. I remember that. That was fun, man. I might have to seek that out again. Just saying. Just saying. What's up, deleted scenes? How you doing, bud? Hopefully, yeah, I think you just had a show yourself. Hopefully, you enjoyed your showing, and hopefully, it was good. Thank you for dropping in, my man. Been a while since I had you on here. Yeah, once again, it's one of the first times we see our boy Dolph. He really takes a few substantial hits, and I didn't expect this to happen. Especially so soon. But granted, it's a short movie, but still, he got eaten up figuratively, of course. But yeah, they took him out quickly. I was like, damn, this Yakuza game don't play around. They were effective right off the bat, man. They were effective.
No,
You don't think he's going to go down, right? Yeah, you think it's a comic book here. You think, he's invincible. But I did like that part, too, that they had him get captured.
Yeah, that was what I liked about this, was that he's not invincible. He's not a Superman. He's not a Batman who's planned everything out to where, no matter what happens, he's got a plan for it.
Did you say Batman?
Batman, yes. Batman is basically the guy.
Who sent you?
Batman.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for that 70s. A perfect lead-in.
Perfect. I know. When I had to do a double take on that because I thought for some reason he was saying Bateman. Like Patrick
Jason Bateman.
It's the damn accent. Yeah. Jason Bateman. I'm Jason Bateman. Yeah.
He was only a child then.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hold on, why is he saying Bateman? And I'm like, oh, Batman. I'm retarded.
He said Bartman.
Oh God.
I always love it when the Scotsman. I always love it when the Scotsman gets credit for my comments.
Oh, and full on horror. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you are enjoying the show that is Toxic Tuesday. Yeah, I do love the aspect of the motorcycle. I think it does fit within Punisher's character, but man, we always say it's about the left nut, but I will love her to give up my right nut. It's always about the left. Everyone's always discriminating against right nut. I give up my right nut to have had Dolph Lundgren in the battle van. Just saying. Dolph Lundgren in the battle van would have been pretty awesome. He may have been a little bit too tall for it because Dolph is a lot taller than Frank is in the comics. Castle's like what, 6 foot, 6'1", I think, if I had to take a very educated guess. Dolph is practically Kane before Kane was in WWF.
He's what, 6'4", 6'5", at least.
Yeah, he's so tall that it's like, geez, dude, you are a tower of dude, a straight up tower of dude. Gary sees you and he knows it.
He's a tall motherfucker. He is.
Wow.
He's apparently 6'5" according to IMDb. But
there you go.
What's an extra inch, as they say?
Well,
he does have the biggest.
Mrs. Redshirt says size matters.
What did Vidiot say? Vidiot says Gerry sees you when you're farting. He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass.
Right, get onto that AI site. Make that song. Get onto that AI site.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do that right now. Just give me a minute.
So for some reason, Nicole Kidman got casted for this movie and then ended up not being in this movie. And it's always been like this mystery of who she would have played. Someone was thinking maybe she could have been the female detective.
Who's cast now should be Frank Kissell now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the only thing she had done back then was Dead Calm.
Oh, great movie.
And she ended up obviously being in Batman Forever with Val Kilmer a few years later.
A year after this, she's in that movie.
Please don't.
When was the racing movie with Tom Cruise? Is that 90 or 93?
Let me think here on that.
That was the next big thing she did.
Days of Thunder.
Batman.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Yeah.
Oh God.
Days of Chunder.
And then she was
Gerry,
she did that Batman movie and with Val Kilmer, and then she was a star.
Yeah, no, obviously she definitely ended up having a good career, so on and so forth later.
Yeah,
but
apparently, it's never a bad thing to suck Tom Cruise's dick. I'm telling you.
Oh, whoa.
Well, I own it, but I still haven't watched Eyes Wide Shut yet. So.
I hate the fact you completely ignored her role in BMX Bandits.
Yes,
which was
I don't even know what the fuck. Oh, that movie. She was in that?
Yes, apparently. I don't remember. Apparently she was.
A terrible movie. I remember that.
But Dead Calm was 89. Yeah, great movie.
You handle your pain very well.
Days of Thunder was 1990. Okay.
You handle. Let's see how well you handle the pain of those. Yeah, once again, that cold conscience. Okay, you don't care if you die. Well, let's see if you get someone else attached to you. And this is pretty much the closest thing that he has, left to him. They use him as a bargaining chip, but in a smart way of getting Frank to break out of it. I thought it was great. And it definitely said, okay, I can roll with that. Because, sometimes they have a character break out, the main protagonist, for plot's sake, convenience sake. But this actually made a lot of sense for a screw to kind of slightly loose for him to catch up. Especially Frank needs to be sharp. He needs to think fast at all times, even when he's in pain. Mm-hmm. For him to catch on to that little screwy thing by his wrists, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's got a wing nut on it for some reason.
Right.
Dolph was only 6'2" before he filmed this. He was 6'5".
I get it now. Wow. Damn.
By the way, right in that shot, there's a drip of water. See it there? And it looks like he's lactating. It's so bizarre, like you're coming right off his nipple.
Well, he was sweating for Mad. He's trying to let the sweat out for Mad.
Yeah, but nipples don't sweat that way.
I don't want to stretch this out. So why don't you tell me where the kids are? I don't want to stretch this out. Oh, that's good. Stretch this.
And then he walks away turning it on. I'm like, fucking dick move.
That was glorious. Oh, man. So, do you guys know who originally got casted before Dolph Lundgren, or not even fully cast, but considered?
Who?
No.
Mr. Highlander.
Oh my God.
Christophe Lambert.
Yeah.
He's still going by Lambert at this time.
You know what prevented it?
No.
An ankle injury.
He broke his butt.
Did he damage his coccyx? Gerry would know all about that.
I know a lot
Wow.
about toxic pain.
Did you say toxic or toxic?
I mixed the two words together.
So you did. I heard that correctly. I was like, oh. Wow. That was fucking.
Oh, good Lord. My sister's posted something on my Facebook page. I'm shutting it down.
This is the wacky. This is
Oh.
the wackiest sequence. I think.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Where you can see where it's the
Yeah.
obvious change. It's such a B movie thing. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow. They really had to change the angle that way to make it look like, yes, we could tell there's
Yeah.
a change in between the shot to when they got shot. Wow.
And then
But I will say
the
her
whole
plan-
glasses thing, the whole thing with the glass, it's just wacky.
Yeah, this
I thought
is
that
their
was an
Godfather
excellent
scene.
idea
It's a
from
good
Lady
idea, but crazy.
from Lady Tanaka. The whole like the drinks. Oh, like, oh, I've already gotten you guys. It's all in your drinks, and they're like, oh, crud.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, that's actually some good villaining. What villaining 101, if such a term exists.
Nicole Kidman could have played her.
Yeah,
The
maybe
quiet
that could have
white
been her
bitch.
part. That could have been. I think she would have ended up being ooh, I can feel the I think she was probably just gonna be the female cop opposite of Louis Gossett. That was my guess. But yeah, she could have been that Lamby, considering that she does look kind of like a other blonde version of Kidman. And yes, Marky of the Sea, he hates pandas. By the way, in case you all didn't know and forgot, I'm here to remind you that. You know, vegans tell you they're vegan. Well, I'm going to tell you that Marky of the Sea hates pandas.
Yeah, I hate pandas. Fuck pandas. They just sit around all day eating and shitting. Oh, wait a minute. What's so bad about that? Right? They eat 18 hours a day. I mean, come on. And they can only eat one thing, right? You know, at least if they eat something good like peanut butter and chocolate ice cream, they eat freaking bamboo all day. I mean, come on. How boring is that? Jesus God.
They don't even
Not a very-
masturbate.
Not a very sophisticated palate, then.
No.
No.
Well,
And-
I don't know.
I
If
don't
my-
trust any animal that doesn't masturbate.
If my palate was all my palate was all eating pizza, I'd say that's an amazing food palette. Just saying. Also, that hot dog stand looks very similar to the one that Ernie Hudson ate at in The Crow.
It
Do you
does, doesn't it?
remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks
There's a few
very.
similarities, yeah.
Granted, I know that's saying that's like, oh wow, you're talking about a hot dog stand in New York. There's probably 800 of them that look like that, but that one looked just like it. I just wondered.
Well, they got it right. Yeah, they got that one. Got that one right. It looks the part. It does look good.
Oh, we have a special appearance now. We've got some music. We've got a new theme for Gerry.
Ooh, backdoor Gerry.
He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Gerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the fog patrol, and he knows your back door well. The Gerry sees you when you're flooded. He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Gerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the fog patrol.
What?
And he knows your back door well. The Gerry sees.
I did a metal version too.
He's the king of the fog patrol, and he knows your back door well.
I want to hear Dan. Shit. Oh my God.
He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Gerry's got his funky radar.
I think the image on the screen seems to fit as well.
Yes.
I will pay Dan Vask. It's on the record. I will pay Dan Vask $100 to cover that.
I will actually just like a copy of both of those, Mark. Thank you.
I can't do this. I have okay. In case you somehow didn't notice, I said maybe I sound slightly nasally because I got allergies going on right now. Well, holy crap, was that painful to laugh through that? That was very painful. That was not fun.
Oh, and who we got to give credit? Who
Wow.
came up with those lyrics? 'Cause those lyrics were awesome. Who was that in the chat?
Who was it? Yeah.
Vidiot Savant. Vidiot Savant.
Vidiot
There we
Savant,
go.
you are an evil genius.
Yep.
That hurt. It was good, but that hurt. Oh, man.
Hail to Vidiot
Oh,
Savant.
man.
Take that
Yeah,
bow.
well done.
You have earned it.
That, oh, man. Fuck, my allergies are getting really bad now.
That's game. I'll send that to you, Gary, and then we'll post that to Gilded. Yeah, that's our new theme song for the.
I think I'm going to use it as my theme song on my own show. I fucking love that.
I can make it. I'll make a longer version. If you have any other lyrics you want to send me,
Make
I'll
sure
put
to
them
have
in.
it pronounced as Gary, not Jerry, so people won't get misunderstand. They'll know it's me.
Oh.
Or even Gary.
Oh no, was saying Jerry. The AI was saying
it said Jerry, and it's
yeah,
no,
Jerry.
it's
Yeah, no, it's
Gary.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Going back to this movie, I was being in pain, allergies. All right.
We'll get there eventually, Nick.
Yes. Frank Castle's character, and this is common throughout all three of these movies, the few shows, cartoons, Netflix, comics, there is a code there, and he definitely loves to protect children. Obviously, he was once upon a time, spoiler alert, in case you somehow don't know the origin story, he was a dad. So, yeah, he's definitely made it a very major point to protect children and the opportunity he gets. That is a very essential thing to him. Like, no matter how twisted in the head he is, it's kind of like one of those things where there's certain light switches and certain things that go off in his head of, okay, right. I need to keep myself in check, ... for this. There's certain things that get him to humanize himself for a moment, and this is one of them. That moment where he gets to save the children, quite literally. And boy, do those kids go through a ride from hell to get saved. Yeah. Actually, it was like, oh man, they might actually, die, because seriously, with all those gunshots going off at him, whoo.
Yeah, and Punisher doesn't care, right? I mean, it's the kids are the enemy, but they're innocent, right? So Punisher always protects the innocent. So it doesn't matter how evil the parents are. He still risk his life. So there's an honor to this character too, which is getting back to the controversy of or what shouldn't be a controversy over this character.
Yeah, it's the biggest non-controversy straight up. It's a non-controversial point. Go ahead.
But I was just gonna say that's why he can be such a hero though, because he's got that code of honor that he follows no matter what. So he's not just out there randomly killing people. It's a common movies or horror, like well, Jason's always killing the kids at the camp, the counselors who were getting it visit slutty teenagers, right? I mean, maybe not the best analogy, but the character follows his ethos, and he that's what he's all about. He's not out there to kill indiscriminately. He's there to take out the mafia that took out his family.
He's got a code. He has a code. Yeah.
No,
he's got a code, just like Nick.
Every now and then, a little clarity slips in a few men's cracks, and this is the clarity that slipped in Frank Castle's crack. It wasn't Mad Mardigan. It wasn't the sewer naked, but it's the moral code. That's where he cracks.
And by the way, I do know this, that Japanese actor that just showed a second ago speaks no English. And he's been in other films in America, and he always has to have a translator.
Oh, a translator? Well, maybe you should try to, gain some entry for that.
What's Bond doing?
I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
Attempting re-entry. I love it. Oh, yeah,
I never understood wanting to do that. It's like, I'm like, go wash it off now.
What, the 5 o'clock shadow?
No, the woman, after I've done it once, I'm like, go wash that off. I'm not going back in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always weird about that.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
Will I play with it? No. I'm good. I'm OCD. No, that's gross.
No, all right. We're done.
With Frank, this is where he finally gets to go public, because not only does he save the kids, but he gets sent to jail in the process. So he won and he lost.
And he gets a license for bus driving for when he gets out.
Did you say for butt driving?
Bus driving.
Okay.
I swear I was not trying to be funny with that. I thought you said butt driving. I was like,
I don't believe you.
You're the one with the stuffed up nose, not me.
Hey, cut me some slack here. I thought you said butt driving. I'm just glad you did it, because I wouldn't put it past you to have said that.
Yeah, I'll cut you some slack and only give you the tip.
Oh, well, we cut the slack. What of the tip remains? That's not to get all Punisher punny, but that's kind of a bit of a micro.
I do like this scene because the kids are like, the ninja's hanging off the side of the bus, and the kids are like smacking his hands and shit.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's a funny scene.
I like where he just shoves the one guy and he goes sliding out the bus door. I was just like, oh, that's fucking awesome. He just slides.
I also like when the dude falls off and they just run over him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shit never gets all the way. There's always the body that gets run over. You can see there's shocked people. They're like, oh, no, look at this. What's going on with this bus here? Oh, yeah.
And by the way, when you watch the scene where he's chasing the van and he's bumping it, every time he goes to bump it, he in his seat lunges forward before the bus does. And I'm like, is it the Punisher thrust that's actually causing the bus to do it?
Did you say Punisher thrust?
Punisher thrust. That's what he's doing.
God.
Watch that scene again, because it's not in sync. He lunges forward and then the bus hits the van. Lunges forward, bus hits the van. And I'm like, it's the Punisher thrust that's causing the bus to hit the van.
Hold up. No, it's called the Punisher's thrust and bust. Oh, thrust and bust.
Punisher's bus thrust.
Ooh, oh man, that sounds really gay. Just saying, it sounds pretty gay. But fuck it, we go with it. That's why we go.
We knew it was going to go there, Nick.
We're not afraid of. We're not afraid of going gay. We're never.
We're not. We're not. We are secure.
It's
all
though?
humor. It's all humor, folks.
Oh, well, for Gerry,
speak for yourself.
No.
I never knew that about you.
Backdoor Gerry, I tell you. He only knows one way. He only has one way.
I don't know. Wait a minute. Dolph Lundgren driving a school bus. I'm sorry.
It's a stunning indictment of public transport safety.
Keanu Reeves, eat your heart out. That's all I can.
Oh, dude, yeah, I guess it's speed.
It's one of the better bus ones. This, yeah.
I thought it was the fact that he
Although,
rode the
although
bus.
I'm not going to talk about Clint Eastwood. That's just.
Oh, you're talking about the Gauntlet. They're remaking that, dude.
Oh no! God,
yes.
no! Don't do that.
But
don't do
hold
that.
on, before you get upset, we always say if you're going to remake a film, at least remake a film that wasn't good the first time.
Well, that's true.
Better.
That's true. Okay,
Cool.
give you that.
It failed.
Hey, but then wait a minute. Then why didn't they make Every Which Way But Loose first?
Shut up.
Oh.
That guy put orangutans on the map. Any which way but loose. You turn me. Come on, what a fuck you. That's a great song.
It is. Always gets you
I love
humming.
that movie. I hope they never remake that one. But I do think that The Gauntlet failed as a film. It was illogical at certain points. And I think that if they put their minds to it, they can make a better version of that film because there was a good story in there.
Yeah.
Damn it. Gary, what have you not put in your butt about this movie?
Look, I'm going to tell you something. Louis Gossett Jr. didn't die. He's in my butt.
Then he died.
He might be dead now. I don't know. It's hard to believe that he could live that long in my anus. I'm sorry, Louis Gossett Jr. I'm so sorry. I made
Nobody deserves to go that way.
Gary, I predict you're going to be featured on an episode of Ghost Hunters now.
Wow. That was the real Thanos.
I feel it throbbing in my anus. I think there's a ghost here. Where is it? In my butt.
Isn't that a port in New England? My anus.
Yeah, it's like my anus is the equivalent of a what is that cage called in ghost hunting? They use it for electricity too.
Faraday cage. Faraday.
Yeah,
cage.
Faraday. My anus is a Faraday cage.
Oops, everybody, it's just the dirties.
Oh, jeez.
Sure sees you when you're farting. He knows when you're past gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Jerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the fog patrol, and he knows your back door well.
That was great. I love it.
Wow.
That was $10 well spent. Let me tell you.
Money.
Thank you, Tom, for. Well, I subbed to it because I was playing around with Tom when I were doing a lot of music after the stream, just having fun. I'm like, I'm getting this. This is awesome. But yeah.
Wow, that was too much.
Share that link with me, Mark, because that's freaking
I just
awesome,
did it in the private chat. Yeah, I'm doing. There's two versions. So I did the metal one, and then just bend over. It's coming right on over.
Oh. Okay. I can breathe again. Oh man, it actually hurt.
Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for the second movie. I'm gonna probably have to have a medical intervention.
Oh,
if this keeps up,
it's a bit tough. Yeah. Maybe by next week, my allergies will be all straightened out. But I want to highlight about that scene in the prison room. Nothing gay about it, and I mean that genuinely speaking. What's important about that scene was not only is it the first scene where Kissell and Louis Gossett's characters meet, but it's the first scene where Dolph Lundgren and Louis Gossett meet as actors as well. So it actually was allergies. It was an impactful surprise for them both at that moment in time. So they're trying to keep them separate to build to that. Yeah. Sorry. Oh man. Holy crap.
All right, Nick. I hope you feel better.
Yeah. It's like, man. I took allergy medicine. Shit didn't work. Fuck you, allergy medicine. You damn bastard. But yeah, I love this here where he has to team up with the man that he hates to get that guy's son back. What? Talk about are you fucking kidding me type of moment. And he uses Jake as leverage. Because it shows you, okay, despite it all, he still gives a shit about a few people left on the planet. On the planet. On the planet. Oh, man. I'm sorry, chat. Man, this is...
all right. Allergies
Don't worry
suck,
about it,
yep.
mate. Yeah.
And we made you laugh too much tonight too. So
yeah.
hope it would clear your sinuses. But why don't we play a clip? Here's Gary's favorite clip from the movie. Or I had to clip it because it was I got the money shot here.
You Americans have a great capacity for violence, but it is wild, unfocused. You will learn.
It's the line she says before it though that I love so much.
Oh, that you like that one better?
The sheep one, yeah. He says your ancestors were herding sheep.
Oh,
in the
that one, yep.
Mediterranean. That is just such a great fucking line. Made the whole movie for me. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Let me grab that too now.
She sold it as a villain when she did that.
You know,
she's a great villain. Yeah.
Probably my absolute favorite line in the entire movie when Jake said to him when they first met in the prison room, he's like, what the hell do you call 125 murders in like 5 years? And he responds, work in progress. I laughed so hard at that line. I was like, oh, that's good. Work in progress. Oh.
Okay, there goes Nick's lung.
Yeah, that was one of my lungs. I think it busted. Anyways, sorry guys. Seriously, Gerry speaking. That was some bullshit. But yeah, it was a perfect line, perfect follow-up line. Yeah, I can see one of you guys, bitch. I can't remember who said. They said that someone must have maybe went to Sloan for, I guess you could say, point of reference on how to do a proper action movie like this. Because, yeah, having lines like that feels like he had. That was one of his moments where he definitely went to Sloan. Hey, what do I say here? You know, Dolph, you want to say something a little on the nose, kind of like a joke that kind of references the thing that you do, and you know, it's got to make it a little more, really, really, really up in your face with the line, and people will resonate. They'll say, "Oh, that line's so cheesy, but it's so good." Anyways, DZ Bird for $5 says, Gerry, is it true that you can get a higher range singing if you have something your bum?
No. That in fact my voice goes lower. What gets my voice going higher is squeezing my nuts.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that. Come on,
I hope never to
Michael
find
Jackson.
that
Michael Jackson did it.
Yep.
He squeezed your nuts.
No, he had,
Michael Jackson squeezed your nuts.
JT
sure,
God has been a member for 6 months. Thank you, JT, for becoming for being a member for 6 months. I was just gonna say become a member, but and Matthew, that's funny you mentioned Mucinex, and I've had it now for about an hour. Didn't do jack fuck. What the shit is that, man? Shit should have kicked in by now. But thank you for looking out, though. Maybe it works on the Kung Flu, but don't work on Nick's seasonal allergies.
Did you say Kung Flu?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you. Well, I'm trying. Where's your correlation there, actually, Cobb? I'm trying to think of where you see that, because that is not something I can see. Definitely elaborate for me, my friend. Elaborate.
I think the woman Yakuza is probably a model for somebody, for Lucy Liu. I think that was a model for Kill Bill, but because she was badass, and she had to be more badass than any of the men.
And it worked. You believe that shit. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
absolutely convinced by it, which it helped. I do believe that the Japanese element works because, especially during the 70s and 80s when he had a lot of kung fu stuff going on, you could see someone who's Japanese in the room. You probably immediately thought, okay, they either could fight or they know someone who can fight. It was one or the other. It was just synonymous with that culture. Yeah. If you had said Nicole Kidman was Lady Tanaka, I would have not been sold on shit for 1 minute unless she like transformed radically. She'd have to go through a radical transformation. But I mean, as far as the stuff that I've seen her in, there's nothing to my knowledge that makes her seem like that type of actress per se. And I am aware, read by nature, of when Tarantino wanted to do a period piece of Luke Cage. In a period piece, maybe with like the color scheme of like Black Dynamite with the afro. Oh man, that would have been great if he had done something like that. But the world will never know. The world will never know. Dynamite. Oh. But yeah, great last action scene. And it's not only got a great closeout, duke them out, brawl them out, but has a nice, great moment of tension at the end of it all. And I had a feeling we were going to come to tension the first time I saw this, but I didn't think it was going to play out the way that it did, which I thought was actually a genuine surprise of the movie. And I thought, wow, for all the faults that this movie has, I feel like there was definitely some muscle to this movie.
There's some great sequences in this last act,
Oh yeah,
Well filmed, yeah.
This movie definitely had some meat to the bone. This wasn't like having a chicken nugget. This was, you were having good wings with some of this third act here. This felt like good wings.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty kick-ass, exciting action movie when it gets down to it. Yeah.
And when you get past the action too, and you get down to that final moment, which I know we're not far from, you feel that shit. Like, oh damn, like this is actually a very serious moment here because it's coming down to the final players. And once again, there's youth involved in that moment. Anytime youth gets involved, it's already like a moment of emotion and tension, but it really adds to it because it's just like, oh, where does the kid go? How does this play out in so-and-so's life? Later
this is
on.
my favorite sequence this is my favorite sequence in the whole movie. I love this bit.
Yeah.
Just the lighting and everything.
It feels like this is a final boss, even though it technically isn't. But in terms of badassery, she was the final boss. Because
of course, he is fighting what looks like a midget here, but he's so short compared to
look at that face he's making there. Looks like he's stoned off his ass there with that face. Jeez.
But the lighting gives it a great
it's cool.
Surreal feeling. Yeah.
The blood red. It's because it's got that blood red palette to it. It's the blood redness. I like that. It's almost like a Slayer movie, but in the fight scene of the Punisher per se. Yeah, I like that shit. Yeah, no, I'd say as far as action sequences between this and when he first gets annihilated by the Yakuza, I'd say those for me were probably some of the best action sequences in the movie per se. And somehow, despite it all, this movie was filmed in Australia. So in case some of you didn't know, this was at a time where filming in Australia was not as common.
Well, it's very far away.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mel Gibson's brother is in it somewhere. It's just a very small role. I've never spotted him, but he's in it. Or one of his brothers.
And our boy Dolph here actually did most of his stunts. Dolph actually, he put in the work.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Well,
Once upon a
I
time.
suspect sometimes that it's because like Arnold ran into that problem of having to do his own stunts because they couldn't get a stuntman as big as him that
Yeah.
looked
Right.
like him. And I wonder if that's the same thing here.
I mean, maybe it could happen. I mean, did he have one for the Expendables where he went up against Jet Li, or was that all him and Jet Li?
I think that was all him.
Huh.
And
Okay.
Jet Li doesn't need a stuntman.
No, we all know that. Yeah, Jet Li is Jet Li. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Stuntman? What are you talking about?
And that was
No.
actually a good fight in that movie too, between Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren. That was actually a really good fight.
Both of them are because people forget he was a serious martial artist.
Yeah, he was.
That's right.
He never
I'm talking about
smiled
Jet Li.
once. He never smiled once. He was so serious.
The joke was I meant Jet Li.
Yeah.
I've got a movie I'm gonna reiterate when we get done with this. We have to do. Yeah.
I want
Is it
to-
Romeo Must Die?
No.
Or the one?
No, it's Kiss of
Why?
the Dragon.
Oh, Kiss of the Dragon.
Oh man.
Where Jet Li had been watching Jackie Chan movies when he made it. So we'll have some fun with that because that is some of the most off the wall martial arts that he ever did. And he's not that serious. It's like Jackie Chan standing in front of a mirror practicing stupid ways of blocking punches. And Jet Li looks like he was watching Jackie Chan movies. We got to talk about that one of these days. It's a great movie. And it's so much fun. And it is toxic as hell. So we're going to have to do that one.
I'd say we should.
And I'm sorry, I put it into the show, but no, that's got to happen. That's got to happen. I know I preempted you, Nick. I'm sorry. I put you on the spot.
No.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. No mind is mattered.
Okay.
And at that moment, that just like so many Star Trek episodes, Red Shirt died.
You bloody.
And by popular request, here's a clip.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
We are Yakuza. When your ancestors were still shepherds screwing sheep on the Mediterranean coast, as were the crime lords of Asia.
Did she say screwing sheep?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh wow!
No wonder
She actually
Gerry
says-
loves that clip so much. Yeah.
Best line in the movie. Period.
Well, folks,
That line
it's
is stuck
been
with
fun.
me.
It's been fun doing Toxic Tuesday for you. I've enjoyed it a great deal, but I don't think I'll be back
No,
again.
I said
So,
if you're
so
gonna be
long.
stealing the sheep, you might as well fuck it as well.
Whoa!
There.
What? No.
I said if you're going to be hung for stealing a sheep, you might as well fuck it as well.
No. Please don't do that. We had no.
The shawty sees you when you're 40.
Oh
Knows when
no.
you pass gas.
We can just leave this on the background as we talk.
So you better stop ripping ass. Jerry's got his funky radar.
Boy.
He detects that funky smell.
That was really something.
He's the king of the fog patrol.
I never thought it could be like this. Never in my wildest imagination.
What the fuck?
You're really something special.
What is this from?
Oh my god.
What was that
Oh,
It's from everything you always
allergies are
want.
the worst now.
It's from everything you always want to know about sex, but we're afraid to ask.
Oh yes.
I'm afraid to ask.
Why?
I gotta go back and watch that movie. I don't remember that.
It's got
Oh,
like different
shit, I
segments. There's a
remember.
Woody Allen one. Burt Reynolds is in
remember.
it.
Yes,
The
I
whole Gene
remember
Wilder
that.
thing.
Oh my god.
Wow. That was funny and awful.
D. Bud Martin clipped that just for me.
I'll have to remember to thank him the next time I see him.
D-Bud is the hardest working wrench in this community.
He is.
I love that
He's
guy.
Wonderful. Wonderful guy.
Six, when she was involved, was number one, but since she stepped back, man, D-Bud has stepped up and dude,
such a great guy. Yeah, wonderful.
You're
guy.
just
okay.
glad
Now
you
that we
had-
sucked his dick, fuck off, D-Bud.
You're just glad you had a man to fill your wrench.
Allow me to
D-Bud's
introduce
awesome,
myself.
dude.
I'm Chopped Liver.
Allow myself to introduce
I like
myself.
chopped liver. It's good.
Chopped liver.
Yeah,
is
D-Bud
good.
will be on Clobbering Times tomorrow night. Yep. And
Guys,
Clobbery
chopped liver-
is going to have his what is it? His
Hefe.
500th YouTube show? No, his 1000th YouTube. He's got a big milestone on Thursday.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
I can't remember how many thousands
Guys,
of shows.
I'll
but
be
we'll
right
make sure
back.
you guys have
I
the
gotta
link.
seize my face off.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it. Mate.
feel better. We're just gonna play this in the background while we're waiting for Nick to come back. Poor Nick. Yeah, allergies really suck. Yeah,
1500th is D-Bud says. 1500th
yeah.
show. Wow.
I understand that many shows you end up with a real hard callus on your
Microphone
finger.
on your finger. Yeah.
Yeah, from all that mouse clicking.
So everyone should
You gotta be
show up
careful
and,
with those because you can chafe if you're not careful.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be great if everyone could show up there and show Clobbery some love, right?
Oh, for sure.
We'll make sure I have the link because sometimes he doesn't want to impose on people, but I'll make sure to impose
Oh,
on
it's
him.
not imposing, dude. God, no.
Yeah, but that's the way he thinks. Yeah.
I do like the sets are great. They put in quite a lot of attention to some of the sets here.
Yeah, no, it's the movie looks good. I mean, for the budget, I mean, it's not cheap, but it does look good. And when I watched it the first time, I was like, well, why were so many people hating on this movie? I mean, it's not. It is what it is, right?
Rewatching it yet today again I thought this is actually really good. Yeah, stands up well against its competitors in the action movies of its era. It stands up pretty well.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean, it's not.
is it a good
not-
Punisher movie? I'm not a Punisher comic guy, so I can't comment. But I
Yeah.
like it for what it is.
Well, I thought it was a pretty faithful rendition of the Punisher character. I mean, aside from the lack of a costume, I could see this as a Punisher story in the comics. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
there's alterations to the origin of the character, but I think it definitely would fit in as a good story in the comic. It's not out of place. At no point do you say, "Oh, this is sad. This is not the Punisher. He would never do this."
It flows pretty well, and it's got a good pace. There's not a lot of filler.
No, I think as an action movie of its day, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't have the background from the comics, so the comic fans might have said, "No, that isn't what I remember." But I don't understand
Comic
why.
fans had a lot of problems with it at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I compared it in some ways to Black Rain with the Yakuza, and I love that movie, but I like this movie a lot. I thought it was good.
Yeah, and I said that at the beginning of the film. I still stand by that statement myself. That I like this film. I mean, it's not great, but it's a good film. It's a good action film. I liked it as a Punisher film, and I felt like he probably did the most work trying to be the Punisher than any other actor. But Ray is the best Punisher, in my opinion, including against Barenthal. I think Ray Stevens was the best Punisher.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. I thought Lundgren. I like Lundgren the best, but
We're gonna watch the 3 movies, so we'll be able to reevaluate, see where we stand on all our standings and all of them. So we will know in 2 weeks. After Warzone said that, I'm sure at that point I'll be a lot more
Opinionated.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll definitely be a lot more.
unplugged.
That's Gary's job.
I mean, I got a theme song now, motherfucker. And by the way, Nick,
did you
I'm
download
60,
them yet?
bitch. I'm 60, bitch.
Oh, well, you're 60 years old?
Fuck yeah.
Oh
And I
yeah.
still act like I'm
Merry
12.
Birthmas, man. You did get older. That's cool. I like that.
Happy birthday. And all we got you was the fart song.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you something. That's a great fucking gift.
Happy birthday.
Because other than that, I got, my best
Back
friend.
in the old days, there were Johnsons as far as the eye could see.
And what a lovely sight it was.
I'm not talking about those dandy gay. I'm talking on gripping those trees for dear fucking life gay. Anyway, my best friend got me this thing. It's a mech robot model kit.
Well, let's embiggen you here. Let's see. Show it again. Flash us. Oh, cool.
Stick it up. That's it.
Stick it up.
Higher. Put it up
I gotta
higher.
keep it up with my face, otherwise it disappears.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah, because you got the background going. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
It's a really cool model kit, and he got me all the special, like the fiber glass sandpaper, everything to do this thing. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a World War II mech robot. It's really cool looking.
So you're gonna make it all shiny and smooth.
No, it'll be olive drab and very matte finish with a lot of scratching on it.
What?
He's got to kill his dad right in front of him.
Oh yeah. This is actually what I was like, wow, they're really going that. Not only does the kid watch his own dad get killed, but then they have that follow-up conversation that happens after. I was just like, damn, you could
Do I need to kill you now? Or will you come, are you going to come after me kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. My father prepared to die.
Yeah, or I'll be waiting for you.
The fact that Frank went up to the kid, got on his knees, helped him put the gun up against the head, told him to just do it, and the kid just couldn't go do it. He said, you know what? This is your opportunity now. You can either get out of the way so you don't end up like your dad, or this could be the moment where you decide in your life that you're not going to be like your dad. Because if you choose to be like him, I will be waiting.
Exactly. You can grow up to be a good man, or I'll be waiting.
That's actually a really powerful ending for a movie that looks and a lot of times acts like a B movie.
Yep.
That is a very really powerful moment here. I was just like, wow, this is something you would see in like a mainstream type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was absolutely freaking awesome that they really went there with that.
I think what hurt this film was a lot of the bad mouths. There's a lot of bad mouthing in this film by comic fans.
Oh yeah, and
that
to be
hurts
fair,
them.
I get why they feel that way. I'm not saying that they're completely right, but I get why they had their frustrations, especially with the skull missing, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it makes sense if you think about it. People have an expectation when they hear about a certain thing, and they want that certain thing.
Well, it'd be like watching a movie of Spider-Man wearing khaki shorts and a polo shirt. It wouldn't work. And if you have an expectation of what the Punisher looks like, and he doesn't, and I don't know because I didn't read the comics, but I did watch the 1960s Spider-Man cartoons, and that was my introduction. And he wore the suit, and he had the eyes, and he had the spider webs all over him on his costume. And it was like, there was a costume, and there was Peter Parker. And if you make a character that's supposed to be wearing something, even if it's just a logo, I could get that. So I can see where comic fans would have been like, no, this isn't the Punisher that I know.
Just another action hero. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's Sylvester Stallone, except he's bigger.
Is this kid wearing
like we should buy the rights to this movie and just change the name of it.
Is that kid wearing a Hogwarts jacket or what?
Yeah, Slytherin.
I think he's
Slytherin,
Hufflepuff.
that's right.
So what do we call it? Just Dolph Lundgren's dick or something?
We'll just simply call it The Punished.
And
anytime Dolph says his name, we'll hire him to come in and redub every time a character says the name Frank Castle or the Punisher. Will change it, and then you just rebrand the movie as just an 80s action film.
Yeah,
this movie was a forgotten classic.
I mean, it does fit the Punisher. I mean, other than just having the logo on his chest. I mean,
Mark is right.
Comic. I mean, I don't
basic themes of the character.
I get why people would be pissed off if they want to see the costume, but the way he's dressed, he's wearing military garb or leathers throughout the movie. It'd be kind of what the Punisher would have. And in the Barenthal miniseries, they didn't have the Punisher skull until the very end, of course.
That drove
origin story. But I mean, I can kind of live with it. Is just all right. So he doesn't have the white skull painting on his chest, but other than that, everything else, this fits as a Punisher tale for me. And I've read a heck of a lot of Punisher comics. I mean, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not an A pluser, but I was surprised. I'm like, I thought this movie was a total piece of crap, and it's not. What happened? I mean,
it's not. It's a good film.
Yeah, and Lundgren's hair. Okay, so his hair should be dark black hair. They kind of made it like a dirty black blonde there, and I know.
Well, they did the whole pompadour thing, which was annoying. The emo Elvis look,
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the Punisher at one point had a mullet too. I mean, so long hair. But
he did have a lot of Punisher
different iterations
between, as I mentioned earlier, black hair, 5 o'clock shadow, the origin story, the usage of weapons, cold-blooded attitude. He still had a lot of great character traits that were very Punisher-esque, even though this movie basically took his origin story and his name. But
yeah,
those were big aspects that they did very faithfully in that regard. This is the very last line of the movie. After Frank gets out of that place where the kid wouldn't do the deed, and he just screams, Frank! And then it ends. And for some reason, they did not acknowledge Gerry Conway, as crazy as he does deserve credit. Russ Andrew for creating the Punisher. And also, by the way, I want to ask one little trivia question before we let these dudes plug their plugs and their thoughts. Sorry, I meant their thoughts. What was the Punisher's original name going to be until Stan Lee? And yes, Stan Lee actually does get credit for this, assuming that this is true. What was the name of the Punisher originally going to be?
Oh, I don't know.
Do not Google it.
I'm
trusting in you to not Google it, chat.
Tom is here. Tom has the answer. Oh, well, while we're thinking of that, here's one clip that I clipped for Nick here.
What the fuck you call 125 murders in 5 years? Huh? Work in progress.
Tom hasn't heard Gerry's new theme, so let's play that for Tom.
And he knows your back door well. The Sherry sees you when you fought it. He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Jerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the far patrol, and he knows your back door well. The Sherry sees you when you fought it. He knows when you pass gas. He knows when you've been breaking wind, so you better stop ripping ass. Jerry's got his funky radar. He detects that funky smell. He's the king of the far patrol, and he knows your back door well.
Oh, Tom dropped a Lost Classic on his Lost Classics channel.
Awesome. You know what's scary?
Plug
I
in
can
the
sing
chat,
that.
Tom.
What'd you say, Richard? What did you say, Red Shirt?
I said, what's scary is I can sing that.
What's scary
I
is
can
you
do
were
that on
singing along with
karaoke
it.
with the right background, with the right backing.
Awesome.
Wow.
Did you start singing along with it though?
Yeah, I did. I had my mic muted, and I was trying to see if my range would reach that. And I was like, yeah, I can sing that. Damn it.
That's a good sign that,
Catchy
that
tune.
my new theme song is catchy.
There you go.
All right. So, gentlemen, and chat, I'll say you first. Get your toxic plugs going, and then I'll let these men tell us their toxic thoughts on this. So we'll start off with 70s.
Oh, geez, toxicity. Well, everybody these days hates, and even then they hated movies about vigilantes and non-judicial, extrajudicial killings and whatever. So, and there's a ton of great action in this. So I guess it's got a fair amount of toxicity by today's standards. I'd probably give it an 8. Actually, I think it's worth an 8 for me out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not so much so that toxic on the. Sort of it's all in the violence, I think. So
It's all
I'd give it an 8. And I like it. I like it a lot.
Quick and to the point, 70s is. All right, backdoor Gerry. Besides Louis Gossett and your ass, tell us about your thoughts on this.
I look again. I'm going to stand by the fact that I like this movie. I liked it when it came out, and I still like it. I don't think it's a great film, but it's a good film. It's a good Dolph Lundgren action film. I don't think it's really The Punisher, but I don't care. I enjoyed it just the same. I don't think it's toxic at all. I mean, it throws in women in lead roles in it. You've got a woman that's ahead of the Yakuza, which would never happen. They just would never allow that. And you've got, she's also the main villain. And so I don't think it's toxic in the true sense of the word, if we're talking toxic masculinity. But it's toxic violent. And I like that kind of violence. I like films that go, fuck it, let's just kill everybody. And then it's, of course, really nice to kids, damn it. How can you call a film that is nice to kids and rescues kids toxic? Because it can't be, because it's loving to kids. So I don't agree with Brian on that one, but I agree with him. It's a damn good film.
Cool.
Indeed.
Sorry, I had delayed reaction. Allergies are retarded.
Were you playing with yourself again? You got distracted?
Hey, two things can be true. Two things can be true. I could have allergies issues and be doing that too, Gerry.
I heard that cunnilingus is really good for clearing your nostrils.
Nick's never been a cunning linguist. He's not good with words.
All right. So, Red Shirt, tell us your toxic thoughts. Oh, that's gay.
Oh, well, I'm probably more on the same page as Gerry than 70s. I mean, aside from the violence in this film, I don't think it's that toxic. And I agree that the fact that children are off limits is a huge change in this. I mean, he just doesn't kill everybody. He's not some, I'm going to shoot everything that moves type of character.
You see the same thing in the Ray Stevens film too, right?
Yeah, I mean, the blonde woman who becomes the Lou Gossett Jr.'s partner when she says, I think he's the Punisher. Frank is the Punisher, and he's like, meet me tomorrow at the station at 7 a.m. sharp, whatever it was he said. It was like, all right, then you're my partner. There are, the females in this movie are not minor characters. She's the one who figures out and agrees with him. The female Yakuza is a major character, whether it's believable or not. Lucy Liu and I mean, come on. Who's going to say a Quentin Tarantino movie is realistic? I don't think anybody would say that about Kill Bill. Kill Bill.
Hey man, they're all documentaries, and we know it.
Exactly, they're all documentaries. Yeah, and I've never read that in a history book. Anyway, I think this is a fun action movie. I agree with that. I think Dolph Lundgren did a very good job playing a character. Again, I don't know the comics, so I don't have to carry that baggage around and judge him by that. It's not horribly toxic. It is just a 1980s action movie in a lot of ways. And it's a lot of fun to watch. It has a very satisfactory ending to me, where he tells the kid, you can grow up to be a good man, or I'll be waiting for you. And
I'll be watching.
And that's basically, we'll do a sequel to this one of these days. But
Dolph is still alive, man.
Yeah. Hope is still alive, but no, I think it's a very good movie, but I don't think it's a horribly toxic one, even by the standards of the day. So I'd give it a 5.
Nice. I like your red shirt. You did good. Mark.
All right. Yeah. Well,
Why do
I'm
you
going to
sound
go
like
with
Trump right now, Nick? What's going on there?
Because my allergies have gotten even worse.
So you become Trump when you get sick.
I have the best allergies.
I had the best allergies ever. No one's ever sneezed like me before.
Bigly.
Amazing allergy. Yes.
Yeah, amazing allergies.
Make allergies great again.
We're gonna make allergies.
I'm sorry,
great
Mark.
again.
It was your turn. You go, dude. I'm sorry.
No, I'm laughing. I'm just laughing. That's awesome. Yeah. No, but I give it a 7. I think toxic by today's standards, and he's a kick-ass character, right? I mean, he's a cop that's he's taking the law into his own hands, and he's not bothering to arrest people. He's Batman's a vigilante, but he doesn't kill. So I think I give it a 7, and the characters are so evil in this movie too. So the Yakuza, the toxic lady, what's her name, Tanaka,
Lady
is just
Tanaka.
she works as a villain. I mean, she's believable as a kick-ass villain. So I think that helps it to work too. So and he gives a great performance.
And she earned her death. She earned her death.
Yeah,
because she was threatening a child.
Yeah. So what's more honorable about who's more honorable there, right? Frank Castle protecting the kids and saving all the kids. So yeah, I'm going with the 7.
Okay, cool. I will read off some of these scores, guys. Mars Monkey Max is gives it 7 lambs and a panda hat. Jonathan Conroy, 9.5 toxicity. Matthew Barzil, 10 out of 100 for toxic female Asian breaking, ball busting, child threatening, backdoor impaling, Coney Island Bay. Oh boy. That's Keely Chow, toxicity 9. And then Becca J.
The thing you read a second ago, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote myself.
Quote yourself.
Or quote my girlfriend one time. She was, my God, that was a mouthful.
It's a shame you weren't in the room when she said that.
No,
I know. It really scared me too. Like, what are you talking about? Honey, why is she quiet all of a sudden?
And I don't mean that in a bad way, Anima. I don't mean it in a bad way. But
there's a good way.
There's a
good way to that. That's breaking news to me. There's a good way to that. Becca J, Toxic 9, and Chernobyl. What's up, Chernobyl? Toxic 9. Dovakin 6. I don't Marvel make a movie like this again. They don't. Oh yeah, we all know that. Yeah, he'd get sidelined. Mr. The Guy.
I think that's a Skyrim reference, isn't it? That name.
I have never played Skyrim, Job. It's been a while since I seen the film, but I give the film a 9 out of 10. Still love it. I still need to see Dead Heat, which is also directed by Mark Holman. That's true. Yeah. And then Esha comes, says toxicity 6 out of 10 remote control bottles of whiskey. At TZ, toxic 8. For me, I'm probably as far as the toxicity, I'm probably going to go and mark the seas number around 7. I mean, man, Frank Castle as a toxic man with nothing to lose is, well, it's intoxicating. And I thought the Yakuza villain actually was very much the same as well. And the fact that he calls his excessive amount of kills a work in progress, I was like, damn, that's a line to respond with, work in progress.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of it lies in Frank Castle's attitude and the dialogue delivery between him and Lady Tanaka. So, and Kitty Bear says 0. So, how you doing, Kitty Bear? Yeah, that said, I'm not gonna say where I rank this Punisher. I will save that for when we finish Warzone, but I do enjoy Dolph Lundgren's interpretation of the character. There's definitely some flaws to the movie and definitely flaws to the character take, but there are definitely a lot of strengths to the character as well that were done very well in this one. So definitely worthy of a watch if you're a Punisher fan who can forgive the skull and see the other traits that Dolph Lundgren does get right, because he does get a lot right with this. He does. It's almost like he is trying to work around the skull. Say, okay, I'm going to still try to do my best for this, even though that's not done right. I'm going to try to make this right with a good performance. And I think he did, for the most part, succeed with this movie. So, anyways, dudes, it's been fulfilling, and Gerry really ascended the show to a really dark and dirty place that feels like even Creed
sounds like my butthole.
This is one for the ages. We got a new theme. We got another good looking Mad here.
And you know what sounds awesome? The word dirty when said by a Scotsman.
Dirty.
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 Duty.
Or an Irishman's vinyl record. It plays a dirty tree and a turd.
It plays duty.
By the way, I wanted to tell you, my old business partner, Paul, he's from Glasgow, and he told me that he says when I was wee, I used to watch Star Trek, and I couldn't understand, and I asked my dad, why is that guy called Scotty sound like he's from Pakistan?
That's right.
Yeah. And he called him a Packy, and I'm like,
he was Canadian, but that's close.
It's Canadian,
yeah.
yeah.
He was Canadian. He was trying to do what is it?
It was Aberdeen, I think. He was
Aberdeen,
yeah.
and it wasn't. It's like people from Aberdeen. It's like that was not our.
No,
accent.
because they speak like, hey, fit like loon.
I don't get
what did you say?
They speak. Yeah, exactly. That's how Aberdeen people in Aberdeen speak.
The only time I tried to do a Scottish accent in front of someone who was from Glasgow, all he said was look at me and say, "Don't quit your day job."
then he headbutted you.
If you try to do a Scottish accent in front of someone Scottish, period, they all think you sound like an idiot.
Obviously.
Sorry, we don't need people imitating us. We sound like idiots anyway. So, you know.
Yeah. And by the way, I know what TZ Burton is talking about. If you guys have not seen that video of that politician in Spain, or was he from Portugal? I can't remember.
He was licking toilets?
Licking toilets, and he licking them in a very.
Why? Someone like held him at gunpoint?
He's probably retarded.
Oh. We lost.
Yeah, he's frozen.
We lost Gerry.
Wait. He's had an embolism yet again.
Well, we'll just have to play his theme while we're waiting for him.
Back.
All right, now he's back.
He's back.
You lost connection.
Your theme song started playing as you lost connection. I don't know what happened there.
Carrie's remote.
But there's something wrong with that country. That they elect people like that.
Yeah, well,
don't
we're
think they're
one
much
to
better
we're
here.
one to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we're
We're
a
one to
huge
talk.
country. We're a huge country, so therefore it's more excusable. When you get smaller countries electing people like that, it becomes less excusable. I mean, we're a
fair
fucking
enough.
melting pot of weird people.
That's true. That's very true. Anyways, chat. Sorry. Holy fuck.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
Germans made pedophilia, owning or possessing.
Yeah, I heard. I want it.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Let's not get into it.
It's
I
misdemeanor
know,
now.
I know. Let's
I know.
not get into it. But
How does a country
BS.
get it
I
wrong
know.
for 100 years? Always on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, I know.
One country. It's a little tiny country.
I know. But it's been good. It's been fun. Sorry that I sound like absolute trash. I thought I was gonna be fine tonight. Turns out that wasn't the case, but I should be good to go next week.
I recommend eating 3 large pies, Nick. That might help.
Yeah,
Here,
mate.
Nick, I've got some nose spray for you. Put your face up to the screen.
Thank you guys for your super chats, and to the regulars, thank you guys for your continued support. There's a new faces out there. If I missed you, if you're a lurker, I hope you liked what you saw. Come back for more. I'll be in top form next week. Next week we'll be talking the 2004 Thomas Jane Punisher. Oh, sorry. Holy shit, man. Yeah, then the week after, Ray Stevenson's Punisher Warzone. And as long
looking
as
forward to that.
I get back on track, I should have my review of Ghost of the Badlands out by this weekend. I should have my review out for that. So that new Western comic book for Razor Fist and George Alexopoulos. So keep your eyes and ears out open for that. Of course, I'll be on Thursday Night Throwdown, Comics Division, Thursday evening. I'll let these gentlemen plug their plugs really quickly on the way.
Yeah, we'll be
out.
quick. We'll plug quickly because I couldn't take a long plug tonight.
You had to take a short plug.
Short plugs only. I'm going to inflict myself on Gerry this Friday if he's still doing the Prisoner show on Friday. And
We certainly are.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting. And we'll be talking about the entire series in one show, which is going to mean we're going to have to move fast. 17 episodes. But it's one of the most fascinating TV shows ever made, so it'll be worth a watch. 3 o'clock, I believe, Gerry, on Friday afternoon, Central Time.
4 o'clock Eastern.
Be there or be square and just miss the magic that is The Prisoner, because if you haven't seen it, you're going to want to watch it. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing your red shirt. I do appreciate it, man. And Mark, thank you for plugging the men's plugs in the chat.
I don't mind plugging everyone.
You have a great week, sir.
And I don't mind you plugging me at all.
That's so gay. Super gay. Super fucking gay. Yesterday's show on my channel was Canon Film Club, and we did Captain America 1990, and we had a lovely time, tremendous times, a lot of fun. Check that out, the replay of that. If anyone hasn't subscribed to me, I'm almost at 1,500. I'm just a ball hair away. So if anyone feels like taking pity on an old man that hasn't subscribed, please consider it. Saturday night is the only other thing I want to plug, which is Brahma Bull and I do our hockey show, Bourbon and Boarding. No Rangers, before you say go Rangers, no Rangers. Go Stars. Western Conference and Eastern Conference finals are on. So lots to talk about there. So join us on Saturday night for that. Mark will join us one of these days, but he's a wimp and he won't stay up late enough.
What if the Rangers and the Stars are playing the final? We'll have to do like a live stream comment.
We will do a watch along, yes.
watch along. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's right. I actually might be in Dallas if that happens. So
wow.
Stay tuned.
But will you be in the grassy knoll?
I've been to the grassy knoll many times.
70s will touch a lot of grass.
I was there back in the day. I mean, oh, that wasn't me. Sorry. Forget I said that.
All right. So 70s, it's been good, fun, and fulfilling.
Thanks, mate. It's been great.
And it will continue to get better, sir.
Let's get you out of here.
All right. Let's plug Mark out.
I will plug very quickly. So catch me on Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern. We talk a lot of geek, movie, comics, toys, and always end up talking food. On Thursday, Clobbery, as Gerry says, has his 1500 YouTube show. So look on Twitter for the links to that. And if anyone wants onto that show and somehow didn't get an invite, hit me up. I'll make sure to get you a link. You could, pop in for a few minutes and say hi to Clobby, because that's a pretty nice, pretty nice milestone.
Stop in.
I'll make sure I send that. So Nick, I hope you feel better. This is a lot of fun tonight. And hail to Vidiot Savant for those great lyrics. So that'll live forever. So thanks everyone, and stay toxic and have a great rest of the week. Oh, I gotta plug my link in there. Let me put my link in. Yeah. There we go. So thank you everyone who's subbed. I forgot to plug. There we go.
All right. Thank you, Mark. You're the man as always, sir. I do appreciate it. All right.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Stay excellent. Have a great week. And now the last man, and then we slide out.
I like to take up the rear. So this Friday, with my good friend here, the Red Shirt, we are going to be doing the Prisoner series. And then on Saturday afternoon, I am doing the Shootist, because it's John Wayne's birthday as well as Clint Eastwood's this month. And I'll be celebrating tomorrow Clint Eastwood, his birthday, and talking about all of his films. And then the following week, this is the exciting one, we have the first unit assistant director from the Three Amigos. And she's going to be coming on with photos and stories of working on the film.
Would you say you had a plethora of guests?
A plethora. We will have, she is so much fun. She worked on Blade Runner. We've been friends for a while.
Nice.
Vicky and I talk a lot. She is such a sweetheart. You'd like her. I'm telling you, Brian, you'd like her. She's such a sweetheart. And she always has these funny stories. And so we're going to be talking about Three Amigos with her following weekend with Tom and Gerry. So it's going to be fun. So,
nice.
We need to put Ron Howard on that Shootist poster.
The Shootist? Oh, fuck Ron Howard. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Fuck
Sweet
that
little
ginger
Opie. You
piece
just
of
told him.
Thank you, Gerry.
Gingers don't have a soul.
TZ for 5 says, Nick, whiskey shots will clear you, but you won't care as much. That's true. But thank you for the
I'll clear your nose.
It just might. And yes, we do need to do that for Toxic Tuesday, Keely. All right, no outro video. We're just going to say goodnight simply because I need a fucking face plant. Thanks for being here, folks. All right, appreciate it. You're awesome. All of you. Seriously, thank you very much for supporting this show.
Good night,
Thanks
Nick.
for supporting all our
Good night,
channels.
all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.